representing 2300 Arena! And welcome to Monster Factory's Turkey Slam!
It is a momentous and bittersweet occasion as we bring you the 2025 edition of the annual Turkey Slam, the grand finale for the world-famous Monster Factory, coming to you from the historic 2300 Arena. I am Jason Heat alongside my broadcast partner, Skylar Ashwood, and we have the honor of being your hosts tonight for this historic event.
Without a doubt, Jason, no bigger city to hold this in, no bigger arena. This is it for the world-famous Monster Factory, and we are wasting no time getting started as the Monster Factory Tag Team Championships are on the line in what is sure to be a chaotic fatal four-way contest.
4 teams will enter, all vying for the opportunity to call themselves the final tag team champions in Monster Factory history. And up first, it's the hottest, pinkest posse in all of professional wrestling, led by Cowboy Pete Carter. They are Pete's Posse.
And you want to talk about hot? Look no further than what's coming down the ramp right now. It's complicated.
These two, primetime Christian Darling and Stevie Brooks, have spent 3 years together as a team, and tonight it's a real will they or won't they situation, because it's the last chance they get to potentially become tag team champions and seal the deal.
Absolutely, and they are the only team of note in this match that has not held. Wait, I take that back. I am incorrect in that. I don't believe High Fashion has.
Stevie Brooks, a former solo champion. Christian Darling, a 2-time Supersonic champion. They have been incredibly successful as singles wrestlers, but can they do it together? And here is a team where we're going to see just how strong the bonds run. High Fashion, Mark Raspa Jr. and Sebastian Valentino spent the summer into the fall in an incredibly bitter and violent rivalry, only to come together in recent weeks once again. Sebastian Valentino coming to the rescue of Mark Raspa Jr., but Skylar, do you think those wounds have really healed quite this quickly?
Oh, a great poet once said that anger is just love disappointed. Hopefully the feud is behind them, and they are decked out in the colors of the Philadelphia Eagles, much to the delight of the crowd here in the 2300 Arena tonight.
They are coming from the Sportsplex, and now the men who have to be considered the favorites, despite this vociferously negative response from the Factory faithful. They are a father and son duo. They are 2-time Monster Factory Tag Team Champions, and they are Controlled Chaos.
Jason, look at this crowd waking up on their feet to show their disapproval of the champs. I have never seen anything like this. This building just came alive for these two, and not in a great way.
No, Papa Juice and Kid Chaos have undergone a metamorphosis over the last year. It has been to the detriment of their popularity, but it has been much to the benefit of their success, as they are now 2-time and defending Monster Factory Tag Team Champions.
Absolutely. I cannot think of a time very often in recent memory where I did not see these two with those belts. It's almost ingrained into your memory, but will they walk out of here tonight as the final ever Monster Factory Tag Team Champions?
Ladies and gentlemen, our opening contest is a 4-way tag team match, and it is for the Monster Factory Tag Team Championships. Introducing first, accompanied by Cowboy Pete Carter and the Italian Tank, the team of Isaac Taylor, Milton Mallow, Pete Pussy. Next, Stevie Brooks and prime time Christian Darling. It's complicated. Next, fighting out of the South Philly Sports Complex, Sebastian Valentino, the unkillable Mark Rasper Jr., High Fission. And fighting out of the Red Dragon Dojo, they are the reigning, defending, undisputed Monster Factory Tag Team Champions, everyone's favorite and the best tag team that the Monster Factory has ever seen, Papa Juice, Kid Chaos, Controlled Chaos.
Big, bold words, but you do not become champions without confidence, and that is something that Controlled Chaos has in abundance.
Unquestionably. And can anybody match the synergy in the ring tonight of the father-son duo? You have best friends. You have something that's complicated. You have long-standing partners on the other side of the ring.
You have a posse.
That's the word I was looking for.
Can even a posse beat the bond of blood? Papa Juice returned to professional wrestling after a decade-plus absence to shepherd his son to just this moment, an opportunity to wrestle for the tag team titles here in the 2300 arena, but there is no championship advantage for Controlled Chaos in this match. The champions do not have to be involved in the finish. It's going to be Papa Juice from Controlled Chaos starting things out with primetime Christian Darling.
No lack of history here as Darling just sent Papa Juice flying over that top rope. And speaking of chaos, complete chaos has broken out in the ring.
It has become unglued. So many bodies in the ring. Stevie Brooks eliminating members of Pete's posse, and we're starting to see things basically break down to High Fashion as the only full team left in the ring.
Well, for now, I see the ropes open. Sebastian Valentino between the legs of Mark Raspa Jr. with a tope suicida, taking out the entire pack, and I don't think they're done. Watch Mark Raspa Jr. as he's going to the top rope.
Sebastian Valentino made his way through the runway, and now unkillable Mark Raspa Jr. proving he is exactly that. But you can only win this match inside the ring, and that means Christian Darling and Kid Chaos are the only two competitors that have a chance of actually winning this thing right now.
Christian Darling catching Kid Chaos out of midair into the fire, miscarrying and tossing him over the top rope into the entire crowd. Is Christian Darling about to get his own 2300 moment?
In bowling, we call that a strike. In wrestling, pure power. What time is it? It's prime time, Skyler.
Lining up into the ropes.
And the big man is going to fly.
Did you see the height on that, Jason?
It's not the fall that's going to get you. It's the landing, especially when it happens right on top of you. That is twice that Christian Darling took out the entire field.
Speaks to the athleticism of Christian Darling as he has picked Papa Juice from the throng, tossed him back into the ring, works him over, drops the elbow right across the sternum there.
Well, we are right back where we began. Christian Darling and Papa Juice, but now Kid Chaos looking to defend the patriarch of the Red Dragon Dojo, Frankensteiner. Papa Juice practicing that proprietary style of wrestling and mixed martial arts they call Juice Jitsu that you can only learn at the Red Dragon Dojo, and now tag made in, first official tag to Kid Chaos.
Critical Chaos nails Christian Darling into the cover. Oh, and a breakup by Isaac Taylor.
Every other member of this match knew that would be instant death for whoever felt it if there was not a breakup of the pin.
Unbelievable as Mark Raspa Jr. ducks, nails a jumping DDT, driving the skull of Kid Chaos into the canvas.
Fantastic height, and now the tag, Milton Malo and Pete's Posse, legal for the first time in this match. Former tag team champions Malo and Isaac Taylor.
Running European into the corner by Mark Raspa Jr., tagging Sebastian Valentino.
And we're going to see if these two are basically as made whole as they claim. They battled each other in a brutal Extreme Wars, and we're going to see another Extreme Rules match here in the House of Extreme later. The Monster Factory Championship on the line. Notorious Mimi defending against Chris Desmond.
Malo gets Valentino in the corner, makes the tag to Isaac Taylor.
But you saw Malo had to change directions multiple times. So many people in this match need to get into the right corner, and now
running assisted neck breaker there. Into the cover by Isaac Taylor.
Quick cover.
Only a 1 count.
And you see that Papa Juice didn't want to even risk it for a second, immediately coming in to break up the pin. It is going to be so difficult to find the opening you need to get a 3 count in this match. Sebastian Valentino went for it. Unfortunately,
Stevie Brooks stuck a tag to Sebastian Valentino while Isaac Taylor was not looking. I don't even know if Valentino knows he's not legal anymore.
She's cute, she's quirky, and now she is legal in this match. Pure power, Stevie Brooks.
What is this? Pete Carter is on the apron.
Nothing surprising about Cowboy Carter getting involved. Stevie Brooks has had enough of his shenanigans.
Did you see what she was beating him with?
A hobby horse.
Oh, and she ran right into a kick. One of those lethal martial arts kicks from Kid Chaos.
Juice Jitsu at its finest. This is why going in, the odds-on favorites in this match were Controlled Chaos, even without the championship advantage. Perfect positioning in the ring.
Sliding flatliner gets a 2 count on Stevie Brooks. Kid Chaos staying on top of the challenger.
There's been so much tension building about whether or not Stevie Brooks and Christian Darling can make this their moment after 3 years, and now...
Oh, that's Pete's Posse pulled Christian Darling off the ring apron right as Stevie Brooks was about to make the tag.
Especially the Italian tank, and now Stevie Brooks forced to tag in not a member of her team. It is unkillable Mark Raspa Jr.
Float over. Oh, a twist of fate there.
Kid Chaos has had an answer for everything anyone has thrown at him so far. How impressive this young man has been, but it is probably the most powerful man in the match. Christian Darling once again making an impact.
Oh! Big move there by Isaac Taylor, and now he's got to answer to Stevie Brooks, who lands a spear!
Cuts him right in half down the middle, but Milton Malo is lying in wait.
Russian leg sweep by Milton Malo. And Sebastian Valentino on the top rope. Meteora!
But you saw...
Look out, frog splash!
Right to the head and face. That's going to potentially cause an orbital breakage.
Destroyer takes out Papa Juice. I don't even know who's legal anymore, Jason.
Mark Raspa Jr. is the last one left standing, and that's 9/10 of the law when it comes to taking advantage of the situation.
Without a doubt, but what is Mark Raspa going to do? Heading to the top rope. The fans here in Philly 100% behind.
Unfortunately intercepted by unlikely allies. Isaac Taylor and Kid Chaos coming together, not out of mutual admiration.
I don't like what we're setting up here. Oh no, Stevie Brooks has everyone together.
Have you ever played Jenga? Because Stevie Brooks certainly has.
She might not be very good at Jenga, but she's good at clearing the field, because now it is just her, Christian Darling, and Milton Malo in there. Spine buster by Christian Darling.
Is this the moment that It's Complicated becomes It's Certain to Be tag team champions?
German suplex. Look at the power on display by Christian Darling.
TKO.
That just dropped Papa Juice. Are we going to be looking for a status update here?
And the Purple Rooster is in danger. The Patriarch Maybe it's not so complicated. Maybe it's very simple.
Status update right there, middle of the ring. 1, 2, they did it!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of this bout and new Monster Factory Tag Team Champions, it's complicated!
After 3 years, it's Facebook official. These two are tag team champions. Those two crazy kids have got it done.
Good things come to those who wait. And Stevie jumping into the arms of Christian Darling. What a moment for It's Complicated.
3 years of mounting tension of will they or won't they, can they together, but here tonight at the biggest show, the biggest event the Monster Factory has ever put on, their bond is stronger than it's ever been. You are looking at the final Monster Factory Tag Team Champions.
The ones that did it last are the ones that did it best. A big congratulations to these two. We've got more action on the way here. That was unbelievable already. But coming up, we have a showcase match for Bell to Bell, the all-women's promotion led by our very own coach, Missy Sampson, where we're going to have Becca Wiley taking on a multi-time former Monster Factory Girls champion, Gabby Ortiz.
It is a storybook ending worthy of writing down in an eponymous notebook here as Stevie Brooks and Christian Darling walk into the sunset wearing matching hardware. You know, matching belts.
Well, yes, matching belts. We'll go with that. We don't want to give...
They are quite the couple of tag team champions.
I would be hard-pressed to disagree. Watch your social media. We'll see if it actually becomes Facebook official.
We are moving on straight away into our special Bell to Bell showcase match. Bell to Bell known for highlighting the best women's wrestler in the country, and here she is, tomorrow's hope, Becca Wiley.
Becca Wiley, the first ever female wrestler with cerebral palsy. If you follow this lady on social media, she posts her journey of how training goes for her and how she fights through this condition that she lives with, and how it has not stopped her from achieving her dream of becoming a professional wrestler. I can only imagine how it feels for her to walk down an aisle like this to see your name in lights on the big LED screens. If nothing else, I'm happy for Becca Wiley for having this moment here tonight.
What a very special and talented young woman inspired by Supergirl Kara Zor-El herself. She is looking to become the woman of tomorrow, but in order to get there, she has to be victorious today. And it's not going to be an easy feat as she faces a woman who has truly been one of the faces of Bell to Bell, the former Diamond Champion, the gift of Gab, the gritty glam, the filliest bish in the building. And here, that's saying something, it's Gabby Ortiz.
I wouldn't just say here at Bell to Bell, I'd say in the Philadelphia area, the Northeast here. If you've been around here, you know who Gabby Ortiz is. And a shout out to her as Gabby Ortiz makes her own entrance gear, looking great as ever.
These two women have faced each other before, and Gabby Ortiz was the winner. The question is, has Becca Wiley gone back, licked her wounds, and learned what she needs to in order to change the results tonight on the biggest stage of her young career?
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a Bell to Bell Spotlight match. Introducing first, from the Jersey Shore, Becca Wiley. Her opponent, from Center City, Philadelphia, she is the gift of Gab, Gabby Ortiz.
A battle of two bell-to-bell originals here as we highlight our sister promotion, Bell to Bell. But Gabby Ortiz has so much history, not only in the Monster Factory, but specifically here in the 2300 arena. Gabby Ortiz's professional wrestling debut was in this building. She says she considers this building her home.
Unbelievable honor to have debuted in this building. You saw Gabby Ortiz sneak that little glamour shot by the ropes before this match. You got to wonder if that's getting in the head of Becca Wiley as these two square off and lock up. Becca Wiley with a slight height advantage as she takes over with an arm drag.
But so much more experience, especially under the bright lights for Gabby Ortiz. Ortiz, not only a Monster Factory luminary, but a former Ring of Honor star, has wrestled across in Japan in Stardom. So Gabby Ortiz is not going to let the circumstances of tonight get in her head. Can we say the same of Becca Wiley?
It's got to be tough, especially if this is the biggest crowd that Becca Wiley has ever performed in front of. These two exchanging series of headlocks and hammerlocks.
Biggest crowd, brightest lights, but of course Becca Wiley is a student of the game, trained by world-famous Cheeseburger, who we will see later tonight in the Turkey Slam Rumble. And these two have continually been trading holds, neither one gaining the advantage.
Gabby Ortiz trying to work her way out of a hammerlock at the moment. And she does. Waist lock into a schoolgirl. Kick out after two by Becca Wiley. Becca back to her feet.
First damage goes to Gabby Ortiz, but now Becca Wiley has an answer, and it's a backslide, but Ortiz immediately rolls to the side.
That's one of Gabby's signatures, is Gabby with a cradle.
And clearly Becca Wiley has done her homework. She's very noted online. Oh, wait.
Look at her mimicking. Said, you can do that, I can do it better.
Wiley clearly making a statement that she has come into this match prepared, and if Gabby Ortiz thought that the end was in no doubt based on how their previous encounter went, Wiley is saying, think again.
Gabby Ortiz absolutely not going to not do her homework before she comes into this. It's a knee to the stomach of Becca Wiley, sending her into the corner. It's Ortiz going for, a big back elbow that sent the turnbuckle pad flying off, and that could be dangerous going forward.
So much power that Ortiz literally altered the composition of the ring. That's how powerful she is.
Snap neck breaker there.
Ortiz likes to finish folks off with that grit your teeth neck breaker. That is maybe a chance to set up her working on the neck of Becca Wiley.
Absolutely. Becca Wiley crawling into the corner. Gabby is teasing the hips here. She's got to watch that top turnbuckle.
Use all the weapons in your arsenal. Gabby Ortiz now pulling Becca Wiley away from the ropes, but is it far enough?
It's far enough, but the pin only got a 2 count.
The time necessary to make sure that Becca couldn't grab the ropes to break the hold was enough to give Wiley time to recover, and now Wiley taking a beating. Only one there.
Can't underestimate the resiliency of Becca Wiley as she's climbing up the ropes. Gabby Ortiz is not going to give her any quarter, putting the boots to the stomach of Becca Wiley.
Wiley making sure she stays by the side of the ring. That way, if another flash pin attempt is made by Gabby Ortiz, Wiley's in great position to break it up with minimal effort.
Wiley with a head scissors. And I think she was going for a Hurricane Rana. Gabby Ortiz countered with a power bomb.
Unfortunately, sometimes high risk leads to dangerous circumstances, and that took as much out of Becca Wiley as it did out of Gabby Ortiz.
Clothesline by Gabby takes down Becca Wiley into a lateral press, kick out after 1.
And Ortiz looking to take advantage of Becca Wiley's relative inexperience. The young woman is game, but Gabby Ortiz so far has been able to take advantage of the missteps by Becca Wiley.
Absolutely. Gabby Ortiz grinding her now with that headlock. Middle of the ring. There's not any quit in Becca Wiley. She's not going to give up. She's fighting back to her feet.
But great positioning in the center of the ring. And now once again, Becca Wiley just hurling her body at the turnbuckle. This woman is not afraid to risk her life and limb in pursuit of a victory.
You got to use everything you got in there. Becca Wiley with the Polish hammer right to the chest of Gabby Ortiz.
And we're seeing a change in the game plan now for Becca Wiley. Had been going for technical wrestling. It's looking like she is changing up for strikes. It's been effective, and 2 counts there for Becca Wiley.
That was at least a 2.5, Jason.
Incremental progress here for Becca Wiley. The longer she stays in this match, the more confidence she seems to develop.
Unquestionably, the more she gets Gabby down on that mat, the more it's got to sink into her head, like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can beat her.
And Gabby took a while to get up. We saw her recover quicker earlier in the match, potentially beginning
and
to
facebuster.
Gabby Ortiz is finished many wrestlers with that X factor, and she does so again to Becca Wiley.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout, the gift of Gab, Gabby Ortiz.
Ultimately and unfortunately, Skyler, the second time was not the charm for Becca Wiley.
Well, Becca can be proud of the effort that she put up here tonight under the bright lights of the 2300 arena, possibly the biggest crowd she's ever been in front of, and against one of the best to ever do it from right here in Philadelphia. A big win for Miss 215, Gabby Ortiz. And if you want to see any more of the incredible action and see we had a hug, a little sportsmanship there, you can check them out at belltobell.com. They will be continuing to run, and you can find out when and where you can check out more.
What an incredible victory for Gabby Ortiz in the building she considers home, in the city that she proudly hails from. The Philliest Bish in the building is also the winner of this Bell to Bell showcase match, befitting the very woman who named the Bell to Bell promotion.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that Coach Missy Sampson is proud of our girls this evening.
And from a professional, we just had a very professional battle between 2 rivals, and now we are going to see a very personal war between enemies.
Referee Ben Barnett, the man in command in charge of this action.
Luke DeSangro has said it is do or die tonight in his battle with Drew Gulak. The pressure is on. This is a man who has been suffering from a crisis of confidence. Is tonight the night he is able to overcome those inner voices of doubt and despair?
I've known Twitch a long, long time. You may get the best of him initially, but this man becomes obsessed with getting that victory. Seen him do it time and time again. You have every reason to believe in Twitch.
But there are extenuating circumstances surrounding this match. When it was originally announced that Luke DeSangro was going to get his return match against Drew Gulak, we did not know that this would be the final night of the Monster Factory, that this would be the finale of our home promotion. Luke DeSangro loves the Monster Factory like few do. This is a very, very emotional night for him. And are those emotions going to affect him and throw him off his game? Can he focus on Drew Gulak knowing he is losing his home?
You want to talk somebody that has history with this building. You want to talk about Drew freaking Gulak.
The lead trainer and founder of Catchpoint, not just a dojo, a movement, a style of professional wrestling. One of the most adept technicians in all of the wrestling world.
Absolutely, you cannot come into a match with Drew Gulak off your game, or you're going to find yourself twisted into a knot and tapping out. Hopefully Twitch has done his homework.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a grudge match. Introducing first, from Levittown, Pennsylvania, weighing 200 pounds, Lucas Twitch DeSangro. His opponent, from Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing 215 pounds. He is the University City Stretcher, Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak throwing up that catch point sign. If you give him a limb, he will rip it off your body.
We've seen that time and again, and no time wasted as Drew Gulak with a shotgun dropkick, sending Dangro into the bottom turnbuckle.
Drew Gulak is a sadist in the ring and looking to end this very, very quickly.
No patience on the part of Gulak as Twitch sending him into the ropes. Dropping down. Almost has Drew scouted. Oh, into a sunset flip from out of nowhere. And
a centimeter of a second away from victory.
Dangro almost had a very early night.
How devastating would it be for Luke Dangro to fall prey to Gulak in under a minute? He has said that his entire sense of identity hinges on him winning this match against Drew Gulak. What will it do to this man's psyche, his mental health, if he is dominated by the walking torture device?
Arm drag by Dangro. Off the rope, little springboard action, sending Gulak across the ring.
And Dangro has woken up.
Look at the tilt-a-whirl head scissors, sending the veteran flying to the outside of the ring.
Returning fire against the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Our former Monster Factory Champion is caught running in a cannonball to the outside.
Onto that hard concrete. Just speaks to how badly Dangro wants to win this, that you would risk life and limb.
Dangro said the last time he faced Drew Gulak, he was unprepared. It was an impromptu match, and still it is stuck with him. That loss clearly left an indelible mark in this young man's mind, and he will do anything he has to repair that damage by getting a victory over Gulak.
Trying to send Gulak into the guardrail. Gulak reversed it. Dangro's back went into the guardrail.
Few men know this building from front to back like Drew Gulak. He used to sleep in this building. He used to live in this building. This is his home, and if anyone's going to be able to use the architecture of the ring and the ringside area, it's Gulak, and they are making their way up the ramp.
Oh no, they're dangerously close to our area over here, Jason, as Gulak is slamming Dangro's head into that stage ramp.
Gulak having his way with Luke Dangro, and this is purely to inflict punishment. You can't win on the outside. This is not false count anywhere.
Oh no! Gulak with a suplex on Dangro onto the ramp!
There's no padding. There's no give.
That is steel!
There is only a surface that will break a man's back and a bully who enjoys doing so. Drew Gulak is sadistic, and now looking potentially to get a count-out win.
And I think he found one of Pete's posse's hats at ringside.
Drew Gulak trying to take a count-out victory here over Luke Dangro. The crowd rooting Dangro on, hoping that he could get back into the ring. But has the damage been done? Is it too much? And no, Dangro in at the last moment.
That was a buzzer beater.
And it just shows that Gulak doesn't care how he gets the victory.
Oh no, a scoop slam, but Dangro's legs hit those ropes.
They're not ropes, aircraft cables to there that we wrap and we call ropes. You can break a leg, you can pull a ligament by hitting those ropes with that kind of force.
Absolutely merciless is Drew Gulak.
Gulak says he gets in the ring to see what his opponent's got. He wants to test them. We're going to find out if Luke Dangro can pass the test, and even if he can, what's it going to cost him from years on his career?
And Gulak toying with Dangro, and that may be a mistake. Chops him right back down.
Gulak with the cover right there. And Dangro able to kick out, but it is taking so much out of Dangro just to kick out of pins, let alone to mount a comeback or significant offense.
Laying in the boots is Drew Gulak.
We talk a lot about Drew Gulak as a technical wizard, but that ignores the other side of his game. He is a brute, he is a bully, and he is a brawler. We are seeing all of that on display right now against Dangro.
Unquestionably, Dangro starting to fight back. He's had enough of being bullied in this match.
And Dangro backing up, affording him the opportunity to avoid one of Gulak's strikes, and now these two hitting each other right in the head. Face wash after face wash as Drew Gulak connects, floats over, and only one for Gulak. That's the fire. That is the heart of Luke Dangro emerging here.
No quit in Dangro, fighting back against Gulak, sending him back into the ropes. European uppercut rocks Gulak.
Dangro has put his entire sense of self on the line in this match. That's not something we advise, but certainly it's motivating this young man.
Oh, look at the momentum that Dangro generated off of the ropes into that clothesline, dropping Gulak.
And now Gulak beats a retreat. When do you see Drew Gulak need to take a breather?
That has to be encouraging for Dangro as he heads to the apron. Gulak on the floor.
Last time Gulak had great success coming outside. And for the second time,
I think Dangro was going for a tornado flatliner there, and Gulak managed to counter, but still went down. Dangro the first one up. I think Gulak may have got the worst of that exchange.
Luke Dangro willing to throw his body into the fray with abandon. A man who is usually so tightly wound and technical is finding a second gear in this match, and now Dangro going up to the top.
What could it, the crowd chanting Monster Factory. Oh! And Dangro with the top rope clothesline into the cover. Gulak barely able to get the shoulder up.
Found Gulak directly into the center, immediately was able to work into that pinning predicament, but it did seem like Dangro slipped a little bit and wasn't able to get full momentum with that clothesline. That may have been the saving grace for Drew Gulak.
We got to think of everything these ropes have been through tonight. And this is only match number 3. Now Gulak is going to go up top, and used to be Mr. No-Fly Zone, and he hit that same clothesline that Dangro just hit in a discus clothesline.
Basically repeating everything that Dangro has thrown at Gulak and doing it twice as hard.
Bomb! That's the move that put Dangro through the table, and he barely kicked out.
There was a radio appearance several weeks ago where Drew Gulak assaulted Twitch and put him through a table, and now he has repeated that same action, but instead of a table, he tried to drive him straight through the mat.
Dangro is out. I don't know how he managed to kick out of that. He's got to be running on pure adrenaline at this point.
There's only so much more Dangro is going to have in him. He's going to have to turn things around quickly or risk losing not only this match, but everything he has left in terms of his sense of confidence.
Oh, Gulak got crushed on the top rope. Dangro going to take advantage.
Great strikes there to the exposed head of Drew Gulak.
Got him perched on the top turnbuckle.
Gulak's not going to make it easy for Dangro to do whatever it is that he has planned here from the high rent district.
I think I see what he's going for. Can he get the stability? Yes, he can. Superplex right in the middle of the ring.
Gulak writhes in pain. Cover right now. Far leg hooked. But Gulak still continues to kick out with authority.
Unbelievable action here, Jason.
Pain etched on the face of the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion. This has the potential to be a defining victory for Luke Dangro if he is able to put away Drew Gulak.
Sensory overload attempt. He missed it. Gulak now with a Southern Lights suplex.
Catches him, held the bridge and the cradle. That is the mastery of the craft that the king of Catch Point displays.
Referee starting the 10 count. Can either man get back to his feet?
When it comes to wrestling, some men are playing checkers, some men are playing chess, and Drew Gulak is inventing a brand new game in front of our eyes.
Without a doubt, and you can see the rage in Dangro's eyes. This is a man possessed, a man obsessed with defeating Gulak here tonight.
But Gulak has just as much vigor and verve in those strikes as he did at the beginning, whereas Dangro seems to be struggling.
It's not the Gulak! In the middle! Well, that's not really the middle of the ring.
No, unfortunately, not as close to the middle as Gulak would like, but still very effective because there is really no way whatsoever for Dangro to get out of this hold.
He's got to get to those ropes. He's trying to pry Gulak off of him.
Looking for a weak spot. And spoke too soon. Dangro was able to get up and over into a cover.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody get out of the Gulak. And there is a Dragon's Breath. Knocked the daylights out of Gulak and almost got the 3.
So much of Dangro's arsenal has already been exposed. Is that Gulak's game plan to force Dangro to run through everything he has until he is empty with nothing left and then pick the bones?
Twitch was going for the nervous breakdown. Gulak had it scouted.
Pretty sure Twitch has been having a nervous breakdown for the last several weeks. The only way he's not going to.
We saw this at the beginning of the match. Dangro had it scouted this time.
Dangro learns you're not going to catch him the same way twice, especially not in the same match.
Sensory overload!
Comes from behind, knocks the base of the skull, and Dangro gets the win!
He freaking did it!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout, Lucas Twitch Dangro.
If that's not a feather in your cap, I don't know what is, Jason. Lucas Twitch Dangro, victorious in his last appearance in a Monster Factory ring.
Luke Dangro finally got the Gulak off his back, and in an extremely emotional night, Luke Dangro bids farewell to the Monster Factory with success, with victory. What? We're going to keep rolling on and take it back to Derek T. Lewis because the action continues unabated here at Turkey Slam 2025. It is a night of high-profile title matches, and we are entering into a stretch of championship competition, starting here with the Supersonic Championship title match.
Absolutely, and this is a true clash of the Monster Factory's past versus its present, because down this ramp, momentarily, comes one of the most tenured competitors at the world-famous Monster Factory.
Don't let Anthony Bennett hear that you think he's already out to pasture. This man is not the past. He is the present because he is it. He's been it. He's Anthony Bennett, and he may well be about to become the Supersonic Champion.
I was trying to figure out where Anthony Bennett came from. I was expecting him to come down the ramp, and he's already in the ring.
But Anthony Bennett is going up against a man who is really quickly and not so quietly amassed quite a resume here at the Monster Factory. The current Supersonic Champion, the first ever Thunder and Lightning Champion, a former holder of the middleweight medallion, and really this match is the spiritual successor to that title as two of the greatest middleweights, not just in Monster Factory, but on the Northeast wrestling scene, are going to battle together tonight.
I think you can make that argument on a national level for Anthony Bennett, a former Cruiserweight Classic competitor. Been on the grandest stage, and look at the water flying out of the hair of Liam Black as he's swinging around like he's in a metal show.
Your guilty pleasure, Liam Black, the self-described greatest middleweight of all time. Tonight he has an opportunity to prove it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest scheduled for one fall. It is for the Monster Factory Supersonic Championship. Introducing the challenger, fighting out of Paulsboro, New Jersey, weighing 165 pounds. He's it. He's been it. He's Anthony Bennett. His opponent, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, by way of San Juan, Puerto Rico, weighing 190 pounds. He would like to be announced as the greatest middleweight of all time. He is the last ever middleweight medallion holder, the first ever Thunder and Lightning champion, and you are the reigning, defending, undisputed Monster Factory Supersonic Champion, your guilty pleasure, Liam Black.
Liam Black had only one statement to make earlier this afternoon in the locker room. He said he wants to make it absolutely clear that he is not a softie, but I do hear he cries at romantic comedies.
I'm scared to ask who you heard that from and what veracity there is to that claim, Jason. Nonetheless, the bell has sounded, and we are off in what will be the final ever competition for the Monster Factory Supersonic Championship. This title, no shortage of history behind it. You look at the list of names that have held it. Goldie, the notorious Mimi, a who's who of the Monster Factory. As Anthony Bennett, the arm drag, springing off the top rope.
Sometimes Liam Black's ego is his worst enemy, taking a moment to play to the crowd, and Bennett took advantage. You cannot give a man with the speed and agility of Anthony Bennett even an instant of advantage.
Bennett went for a wheelbarrow snapmare there. Black countered. And, thought we were going for a flapjack. Black countered with an arm drag.
It would be very poetic for Anthony Bennett to win the Supersonic title tonight. He won his debut match at the very first Turkey Slam, and that match that he won was the first Turkey Slam Rumble. Can he bring the story full circle tonight and walk out of the very last Turkey Slam holding a championship belt? Defense system activated as Anthony Bennett repels Liam Black mid-air.
Liam Black has to know that Anthony Bennett had him scouted. Oh, that was a good kick there.
Few men have control of their bodies the way that Anthony Bennett does.
Oh, Liam Black had that springboard scouted. Anthony Bennett's legs came down on those ropes, those cables. What a moonsault!
Sometimes there's a little too much sizzle for Anthony Bennett. It cost him, and now Liam Black with two.
Well, frustration setting in for Liam Black there.
Liam Black, incredibly talented, and he knows it. He'll let you know that he knows it. He says he is the man you love to hate, and whenever you boo him, he is feeding off of it as though it was cheers.
Well, Philadelphia is feeding him well tonight as they do not like this guy. He's laying the boots to Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett trying to counter, trying to get back to his feet.
Bennett now fighting from underneath.
Liam Black saying Anthony Bennett is soft.
Liam Black.
Sunset flip. Black rolls through. Oh, Anthony Bennett dodged the kick.
It's been counter after counter between these two. A match to determine who may be, as you mentioned, not just the past or the future, but the present best middleweight in this company. The Supersonic Championship on the line. Bennett, not just a member of the roster, also one of the trainers at the Monster Factory. It would be very meaningful for this man to win this title here in his last night affiliated with the brand of the Monster Factory.
Well, Liam Black got to watch those educated feet. Springboard, and a kick right to the back of the head of Anthony Bennett, and he's strung over the ropes.
Liam Black has such
Guillotine leg drop.
unassuming technique. It feels like he is flinging himself to and fro, and yet he constantly lands with precision, pulling Bennett away from the ropes.
But will that time cost him as he goes into the pin? Bennett kicks out at 2.
There's no choice. That is the cost-benefit analysis any wrestler has to make when their opponent is down but close to the ropes. Are they unconscious, or do you risk them being able to get a foot and break that count?
And Liam Black letting the crowd get to him. A single knee face breaker. And Anthony Bennett, just like that, is back in control.
Non-stop action here between two cardio machines.
Making Liam Black bow down with that neck breaker into the cover. A kick out after 2.
Neither man seems to be gaining the advantage. They are trading back and forth. One is going to have to go on a more extended flurry of offense in order to wear down their opponent and get that 3 count. Part of the issue, Skylar, is that both men's game plans are so similar. Is one of them going to adjust?
Michinoku driver in the middle of the ring.
I suppose when in doubt, drop a man right on his head.
Well, it seems effective so far as Liam Black heading to the top rope. Possibly looking for a moonsault.
Black looking.
Oh no, he's looking for Phoenix Splash, and his head just crashed into the mat as he misses.
Unfortunately for Liam Black, no one was in the pool. And now Bennett showing that incredible ab strength, literally pulling himself up, but Black is so far away.
Diving headbutt.
3/4 away from the ring, and Bennett still able to land the headbutt.
Into the cover. That was as close to 3 as we have seen all night as Liam Black gets the shoulder just up.
The headbutt, one of the riskiest moves in wrestling. The potential to do self-damage is so high, and it does seem like Anthony Bennett's not moving quite as quickly since hitting that move.
Definitely had to take something out of him. Anthony Bennett trying to float over. Black had him scouted. Reverse roundhouse caught him in the face. Springboard super kick.
The springboards have been so successful for Liam Black.
Bennett had it scouted. Looking for a crucifix bomb. We've seen him put people away with that.
Shaken, not stirred combination coming up.
Black had it scouted.
And now, unfortunately, Bennett got a little caught up in the ropes, and that is to the benefit of Liam Black.
Oh no. A spinning tombstone pile driver. Bennett is out.
And that is the finishing move of the only middleweight that Liam Black has never defeated. Jafar taking from his enemies, learning. Great artists don't copy, they steal, and Liam Black is a great professional wrestler.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout and still Monster Factory Supersonic Champion, your guilty pleasure, Liam Black.
Liam Black didn't steal that one, he earned that. He earned every bit of it. And you could say he silenced his doubters on the final ever Monster Factory show as he is walking out. Still your Supersonic champion.
One of the fastest rising up and coming young stars in this company and on the scene in general. This is a punctuation mark on that statement as Liam Black will hold his head up high. You want to call him soft? It's pretty hard to be the last Supersonic champion, but that's exactly what Liam Black just accomplished.
Much to be proud of for that young man as we turn things back over to our ring announcer, Derek Lewis.
And the tone and tenor of this room is changing as our referees are bringing out a coffin. If you want to be reminded of your own mortality, this is the match for you as former tag team champions, tag team partners, and best friends will battle not just to beat each other, but to beat each other so bad they put their opponent metaphorically 6 feet under and literally inside a coffin. The Thunder and Lightning division is unique in all of professional wrestling to the Monster Factory. It is a division where you have to have 2 different weight classes battling each other, and there is no 2 different wrestlers when it comes to weight class than this man Marvelous and his opponent, the champion, the God of Dad Bod.
For the longest, these two were tag team partners, best of friends, until the God of Dad Bod turned his back on Marvelous.
And we're seeing a bit of a return to form from Marvelous, coming out in all white, returning as the light of all that is. The God of Dad Bod was the black hole that took the gleaming light of Marvelous, and now that Marvelous has escaped that super massive event horizon, he has returned, hopefully, to his former glory.
The God of Dad Bod, the reigning, defending Monster Factory Thunder and Lightning champion, actually won that title from the man that we just saw, Liam Black.
The second champion in this title's existence. Will he be the last? These 2 men used to be as close, if not closer, than brothers. Former 3-time Monster Factory Tag Team Champions, and it was and is the Thunder and Lightning title that proved to be the wedge that would break that bond, because the God of Dad Bod offered Marvelous an opportunity at the title. And according to the God of Dad Bod, Skylar, Marvelous had the temerity to take him up on the offer. He said just by accepting the match, Marvelous failed the test, because if he was willing to fight his brother, he was never a brother at all.
Well, tonight, these two do more than just bury the hatchet. One is going to bury the other as we head to the ring for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a coffin match. It is for the Monster Factory Thunder and Lightning champion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the winner will be that individual who will stuff his opponent into that very casket and close the lid. Introducing the challenger, fighting out of the City of Shadows, weighing 165 pounds, the light of all that is. This is Marvelous! His opponent, fighting out of Planet Scumbag, weighing 69 tons of dark matter. He is the reigning, defending Monster Factory Thunder and Lightning champion, the deity of dirtbags. He is the God of Dad Bod.
What an obstacle faces Marvelous. The pure mass, the size, the domination of the God of Dad Bod, let alone the emotional component of having to fight the man who very recently you considered your best friend.
Oh, and a drop kick right into the corner. Marvelous wasting no time, throwing his whole body weight into that, as you would have to when you're fighting someone the size of the God of Dad Bod.
Marvelous knows he's climbing up a mountain, and that mountain is effectively Everest when it comes to the God of Dad Bod.
Well, Marvelous moved. Dad Bod almost hit the turnbuckle. Mounting him for punches in the corner.
Marvelous looking to culminate 8 years of a journey here at the Monster Factory, walking away with the Thunder and Lightning Championship, and God of Dad Bod swatting Marvelous away like he was a gnat.
chopped down. God of Dadbod regaining control of this match.
Ever since God of Dadbod separated from Marvelous, he has become even more unhinged, and that says a lot given where God of Dadbod started.
And look at the power on display. God of Dadbod was about to toss Marvelous over that top rope right into that casket. And whoa, Marvelous almost went flying right in.
We're going to say this a lot in this match, but Marvelous is at a disadvantage. Ultimately, it is much easier to fling Marvelous into that casket than it's going to be to dump Dadbod over the ropes.
Dump Dadbod over the ropes is exactly what Marvelous is trying to do right now. This almost looks like the Turkey Slam Rumble that we're going to see later this evening.
Getting a little bit of a tease and a taste of that 40-person over-the-top rope battle royal. But this match can only end when someone goes in a coffin, and that was basically Marvelous being squashed like a bug against a windshield.
Swatted like a fly out of midair.
Dadbod looking with such derision at the man that he says betrayed him. But if God of Dadbod is so offended that Marvelous took him up on the opportunity to challenge for the Thunder and Lightning title, why did Dadbod even make the offer to begin with?
Maybe reverse psychology as Marvelous is signaling for his iconic knees. Dadbod knows him so well, says nope, that is not happening, gets out of dodge.
But in some ways, Dadbod just put himself in a lot more danger because he's now on the same plane as the Coffin. It's a lot easier to toss Dadbod into that grave from the outside than it is from inside the ropes.
Oh, Marvelous tried to dive onto Dadbod, and Dadbod made him pay for it, caught him, threw him into the barricade, into the ring apron.
God of Dadbod has decimated the competition over the course of this reign. And now looking maybe to put Marvelous in that coffin. Again, to win this match, you not only have to put your opponent in the coffin, you have to successfully close the lid.
Oh, and Marvelous launching himself off the coffin to get that advantage. And now Dadbod rolls into the ring.
Dadbod knows he is safest inside the ring. That is where he holds the high ground.
Crossbody, and Marvelous got it that time. No catching that for the God of Dadbod.
Marvelous has said he has no fear of the coffin. He literally lives next to a cemetery. This is all about proving a point. This is all about reclaiming what he says he lost in terms of his own sense of self-respect when he was given that God dose by the God of Dadbod.
Dadbod stalking Marvelous into the corner. You only imagine what he has planned is setting him up for those evil chops.
Like thunder cracking across the chest of Marvelous.
One was not enough. Dadbod lays in another chop.
God of Dadbod tenderizing Marvelous right here, recognizing he can take his time. He can pick Marvelous apart and then throw the carcass into the coffin with whatever is left.
Sending him across the ring. Dadbod with a hip attack in the corner. Starting to get the advantage over Marvelous. Laying in these clotheslines.
Clubbing blows by the God of Dadbod, who has to have 3 times the body mass of Marvelous.
Black hole slam.
That nightmare rotation gonna give bad dreams to Marvelous, but is he gonna rest with a title around his waist or inside of a coffin?
Time will tell as Dadbod calling for the coffin to be opened. Is it academic at this point, Jason? Is it just a matter of dumping Marvelous's exhausted body into that casket?
I can't speak to anybody else, but the greatest fear in my life is my own mortality. To have to face that in the confines of a professional wrestling match. This isn't just physical violence. This is psychological torture that these two men are inflicting on each other. And now God of Dadbod exposing that turnbuckle. There are no disqualifications. This match can only end when someone gets put in a freaking coffin.
I think Dadbod's wanting to make sure that Marvelous never gets out of that coffin. Trying to bash his head into the exposed turnbuckle. Marvelous saves himself at the very last minute.
If you knock your opponent unconscious, that is a great tactic to make sure they are not going to lift that coffin lid up at the last second.
But Dadbod, caught him. Oh, with a spin out power bomb. Blue Thunder bomb, if you will.
There's no pins, though. This match theoretically would be over, but Marvelous has an opportunity to recover in the time it takes to muscle him over to that coffin.
He's calling for the casket to be opened. All he's got to do is kick Marvelous in at this point.
And again, that's the advantage that Dadbod has. But it's not just about getting your opponent in the coffin. It's about closing the lid. And there's a lot of fight left inside the light of all that is.
Marvelous clinging to the leg of the God of Dadbod, and now on the back applying a sleeper.
The body snatcher civil war is underway, and the winner of this
look out, look out, look out! Oh, Marvelous back first into that exposed turnbuckle.
Every time Marvelous seems to gain an inch, he loses a mile.
God of Dadbod signaling for the end. Is he thinking about the God dose?
Marvelous has already fallen prey to that God dose before. And instead...
Are we thinking Tombstone? Taking the casket match quite literally.
The secret technique with no name!
Oh my God. That was insane.
Well, what goes better with a casket than a tombstone?
I can think of nothing as... He's going for a pin.
It's the perfect pair. God of Dadbod is making a statement. I could win this match right now if this was any other kind of contest. And I'm going to prove not only can I beat you in a coffin match, I can beat you in any match.
Marvelous looking up defiantly. There is no quit in this man.
You're going to have to put him down. You're going to have to put him 6 feet under if you want to quell the light that has recently reemerged in Marvelous.
God of Dadbod laying in the boots every time Marvelous dares to sit up. Oh, and clothesline. I don't know if that was a clothesline or a spike. Whatever it is, it fired Marvelous up and he's back to his feet.
Marvelous getting right in the face of God of Dadbod. No fear. No fear of Dadbod. No fear of death. No fear whatsoever from Marvelous.
Marvelous coming with all the fight. A back elbow. Kick lands to the neck of the God of Dadbod and rocks him.
How is Marvelous putting together this kind of combination offense after taking so much punishment?
What a DDT springboard off the rope. But now you have the heap of mass that is the God of Dadbod on the mat. How do you get him into... Is he rolling to the coffin himself?
Dadbod has found himself in a very precarious situation. He was trying to escape Marvelous and instead put himself in a very, very bad situation.
This has got to be some kind of strategic thing, but he's trying to drag him into the coffin with him.
Literally trying to pull Marvelous down into hell.
What happens if the lid closes with both men inside?
There are no more body snatchers at all. No bodies left to snatch if both men find themselves in the coffin together. I think at that point they become a tag team.
Look out, Marvelous is in the coffin. Can Dadbod close the lid? Why hasn't he made the attempt? Is this arrogance going to cost him?
Pretty sure it's not arrogance, it's exhaustion. Dadbod has to take a moment to recover.
And he's trying to close the lid. Marvelous blocks it. Kicks Dadbod in the head.
Use whatever you got available. If it's feet, let them fly right into the temple of the God of Dadbod.
Oh, he's got him by the mutton chops. And he's got the head over the casket, bashing him again and again.
We've always said mutton chops are a man's greatest weakness.
And the lid is partially closed, but Dadbod is not in the coffin, so it does not count.
Here's a serious question. Did we size this coffin to make sure that God of Dadbod could even fit in it?
I wondered whenever I saw it earlier today, but I think we may be about to find out.
Marvelous may be at an even more significant disadvantage than we thought, purely based on physics.
Definitely fighting that battle as this spills back into the ring.
Both men have lost ground now that the match has returned to the center of the ring, far away from the Coffin.
Oh, he's got the God dose on. He's got Marvelous in the God dose. If Marvelous goes out, he's going to be easy pickings to just roll into that casket and close the lid.
But Marvelous has already OD'd on this before, and he's not going to let that happen again. He's got the cure. He's got the antidote.
Oh, right between the legs. Marvelous with the low blow. Anyone else, I would call that reprehensible, but after everything Dadbod's put him through, I can't blame him.
Even the gods got soft parts,
Look
it
out.
seems.
Dadbod hits the exposed turnbuckle. This is Marvelous' big break. And bashes him in the face with it again with a drop kick. Marvelous signaling for the knees.
Marvelous looking to take advantage.
For as long as anyone's known Marvelous, those are the deadliest knees in the wrestling business.
Now Marvelous has God of Dadbod prone, and so many weeks, months of frustration and fury.
Are we going coast to coast, Jason?
We're going to see exactly how.
Oh, and the defiant middle finger from the God of Dadbod. Marvelous drop kicking him.
Right to the legs and thighs.
It was right in the hip. Dadbod, I think, is trying to get away from Marvelous as quickly as he can. I don't think he realizes he's crawling toward the open casket.
Well, Dadbod's base may well be compromised.
Marvelous, this is your chance. Sliding kick.
Dadbod is in, and Marvelous has to be the one to put the lid down.
It is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Coffin match and new Monster Factory Thunder and Lightning Champion, Marvelous!
Back into the light goes Marvelous, your new Thunder and Lightning Championship, and literally burying his issues with the God of Dadbod.
Officially, there is one body snatcher left, and he is the light of all there is. The Civil War is over, Skylar, and Marvelous has found himself as the victor.
Marvelous getting the streamers, that iconic honor right here in the 2300 arena, and deservedly so.
8 years of blood and sweat and tears and dedication to the Monster Factory has culminated in this moment.
Walking out with a Puerto Rican flag held high, paying homage to his heritage. A big congratulations to our new our final Thunder and Lightning champion, Marvelous.
The man who committed deicide in front of us. The God of Dadbod is dead. May we all be atheists together.
Nonetheless, we still have more championship action on the way as the
2300 arena. If you're having a good time, let me hear you make some noise!
And now a competitor I am very familiar with as we host our friends at AXW for a Heritage title match. This is the American Hammer, Matt Quay.
A dynamic entrance there. This guy is bouncing around like a jumping bean.
The mullet, I should say the mallet with a mullet. The heroic himbo representing the U.S. of Quay. He is the hero our country not only deserves, it's the hero our country needs.
I have to say I'm quite jealous of that mullet.
It's an incredible head of hair.
That Pantene Pro V hair just flying around. As I think he was trying to assist the referee as he's holding up the turnbuckle pad.
Looking to reconstitute the ring. So much history between Matt Quay and the Heritage Champion, Tommy Vex, who is accompanied, as always, by his best gal, Mary Elizabeth.
But can Matt Quay reconstitute a championship reign here tonight is the question.
Tommy Vex is the longest reigning AXW heavyweight champion. He's also the inaugural heavyweight champion, so those two things go hand in hand. He has been champion for over a year, but he's not only a professional wrestler, Skyler. Do you want to know some of the other great accomplishments?
To hear his accolades. Hit me.
Well, he is a world champion in hobby horse, professional competitive hobby horsing. He holds the record for tooting the longest horn, and he is a blue ribbon in growing quince.
I don't even know what quince is.
It is a fruit that is often made into a paste, which is exactly what he's hoping to do to Matt Quay. Tommy Vex looking to grind the American Hammer into paste here tonight in the 2300 arena.
Crowd here in Philadelphia not too appreciative of Mr. Vex.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, scheduled for one fall, it is for the AXW Heritage Championship. Introducing the challenger, fighting out of the U.S. of Quay, weighing 209 pounds, he is the American Hammer, Matt Quay. His opponent, what?
No, it's okay, it's okay. We don't need you. Go ahead, you can leave. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Allow me. Being accompanied to the ring by the magnificent, marvelous, mystical, magical Mary Elizabeth. He is the world's best, longest reigning American Excellence Wrestling Champion, Tommy Vex!
Imagine listening to that voice every night.
Tommy Vex is going to be bringing the fight for the AXW Heritage Championship. His lady bringing the fight to our audio crew with those peaking levels.
Now, Tommy Vex is an experience, but one that Matt Quay is very familiar with. These two men have fought all over, but they've never fought here.
He went for a shot with a belt there.
Well, it's important to note that Tommy Vex has literally never won a match in his career without using a low blow. 100% of the time, he has won a match with a low blow.
It's an intriguing statistic as he sends Matt Quay into that turnbuckle.
100% of the time, it works every time.
Well, and the turnbuckle has come loose again, and you have to watch out for that exposed turnbuckle. You're talking about he was using a low blow. Do you think he might use that exposed turnbuckle?
Yes. 100%. It's not even a prediction. I think that's a spoiler. If there is a way to get an advantage, cheap, illegal, sideways, Tommy Vex will do it.
But whether you call it cheating or resiliency, Vex just came back in the ring and Quay sent him over the top rope right back to the outside.
Of course, this is not the Turkey Slam Rumble, and so you do not eliminate opponents in this match over the top rope, but Matt Quay still taking a moment to celebrate.
Well, right now I think he's taking a moment, was going for a baseball slide drop kick, and now he's in Mary Elizabeth's face, but Vex made him pay for it.
Vex has never been above using Mary Elizabeth as a human shield. You gotta wonder what she sees in this guy. He's a rake, he's a cad.
But he's a champion.
That's true. And maybe she's a gold digger.
Is he trying to get a selfie with the referee? Well, no, he was distracting him while Mary Elizabeth kicked Matt Quay for what I can only assume was a low. Oh, no, she's going for the knee.
Clearly, these two deserve each other. They are birds of a feather, and they cheat together. But hopefully not on each other. I don't know what the rules are for that.
Well, you know, they say if you're not cheating, you're not trying. As
you must be single. Tommy Vex with one.
A kick to the back by Tommy Vex.
And those are legs trained in professional hopscotch.
I can only imagine what that feels like as Matt Quay is now being choked on the bottom rope. Look, is standing on his back is Tommy Vex.
Perfect opportunity for Mary Elizabeth to add a little bit of injury to insult as the American Hammer is being throttled. And what might be worse is that she's talking to him.
Good Lord.
The screech. It's Dustin Diamond-like.
Well, she needs to watch the gaze of the referee because if he catches her, that's going to get her main squeeze, her man there, disqualified. And whoa, Tommy Vex almost took Matt Quay's head off with that clothesline.
So far, Vex has had an answer to everything Matt Quay has brought to him, to there, and these two know each other so well, and yet somehow Matt Quay always seems to assume that he's going to get the best version of Tommy Vex, and instead, Vex continues to vex Matt Quay.
Good play on words there as Vex stomping Quay into that corner, the corner with the exposed turnbuckle, mind you. Got to be ever cognizant of that. It was a neck breaker by Vex.
Yeah, Chekhov's turnbuckle is right there in the corner. Just wondering when that's going to go off. As
into the cover, Vex gets a 2 count on Quay.
Quay's neck seems to be in rough shape. Quay writhing in pain as we hear the chants of U.S. Quay. I'd love to live in the U.S. of Quay. I think they have universal health care.
You mean we don't live in the U.S. Quay already?
Well, you know, if he wins the Heritage title, maybe we will, finally.
Well, the unique thing about this match is this AXW Heritage Championship is one of 2 titles that will be defended tonight that will actually carry on after the show.
This and the TNA International Championship. That match will be coming up very shortly, but right now, AXW represented here on the final night of the world-famous Monster Factory. And Matt Quay going to give him the gavel.
Hitting the ropes. Baseball slide drop kick. And he's hitting it again. Tope suicida. Taking a little inspiration from south of the border.
Matt Quay firing on all cylinders. Looking to roll Vex back into the ring. The title cannot change hand on a disqualification or a count out, so Quay has to get Vex back inside the legal bounds.
Ooh, high crossbody. Difficult catch there for Tommy Vex, and he is down.
Who needs Mjolnir when we've got the American Hammer right here at home, baby?
And what is Mary Elizabeth doing? No. I think she might have given him a little bit of a hint, like, hey, he's coming. He got the boot up. And a spine buster by Matt Quay takes down the champion again.
High angle spine buster by Matt Quay, who is no stranger to putting his body on the line, looking to drop that American Hammer, and he does! Right to the heart of Tommy Vex. We're going to see a new champion right now, but Mary Elizabeth.
Well, she put his foot under the rope, which is going to trigger a break for this pin, but I think we would have had a new AXW Heritage Championship had she not gotten involved.
Mary Elizabeth pays dividends. There's a reason you choose to listen to that voice every single day, and it's because when push comes to shove, she will literally push Matt Quay's legs under the ropes.
Well, I think she's pushing the referee's patience. She tried to slap Matt Quay, and he caught it.
Matt Quay has full experience. And now Mary Elizabeth has been ejected from this match.
Thank you for coming, and good night.
The not-so-secret weapon of Tommy Vex has been neutralized. Now it is finally one-on-one. Is Quay going to drop another American Hammer?
Can he get up in time?
Or is he going to pull a different tool from the toolbox?
Vex was ready for it.
Vex lying in wait. Catches Quay.
I swore that was it. That had to be 2.5, 2 3/4. Quay found it somewhere in the reserves to kick out of that.
It would have been incredible, though. That would have been the first victory for Tommy Vex without a low blow. We're all waiting for that day.
Well, time will tell if that day is today, as Vex sending Quay into the corner, setting him on the top turnbuckle.
Tommy Vex now out here alone, though Mary Elizabeth did a lot of damage while she was in the field of play.
Vex was thinking superplex.
A superplex from Super Vex, but Matt Quay able to push Vex back, and now lifting him up, looking for a power bomb, it seemed.
He got him in the head with that fist. Vex with a sunset flip out of the corner.
Sunset bomb, but Quay unable to capitalize quickly. Crawling over, Mary Elizabeth ignoring the single most important rule in all professional wrestling. When you are ejected, you got to get the heck out of here. And this is the second time it feels like Quay 100% would have won this match and the title if not for Mary Elizabeth.
Where is the disqualification at?
Doesn't help Quay. He wouldn't win the title with a disqualification.
Nonetheless, and you were talking about the low blow, and there it is. Check the block into the schoolboy, and the referee realizes 1, 2, 3.
100% of the time, it works every time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout is still AXW Heritage Champion, Tommy Vex.
Not only is Matt Quay not walking away as champion, he's not going to be capable of having kids for a while. Tommy Vex debilitating Matt Quay and walking away as the reigning, defending, inaugural, and longest AXW Heritage Champion.
To your point, it was Mary Elizabeth that was the difference maker in the end. Even though she had been ejected, came back out, distracted the referee, and effectively cheated Matt Quay out of this championship when he visually had the thing won on more than one occasion in this match.
That's what it means to stand by your man, and unfortunately, we do not gain citizenship into the U.S. of Quay tonight. But what an introduction here on the final night of the Monster Factory to Matt Quay, to all the factory faithful.
We have we have more championship matches on the way as Derek T. Lewis takes us into our next.
We're getting into the deep end of our card. There were 3 matches that all could have easily main evented a show of this caliber, an event as meaningful as the finale for the Monster Factory. And this is one of them.
Philadelphia is on their feet for David Goldie.
Born better, one of the most decorated wrestlers on the Monster Factory roster. The man many consider to be the standard bearer of the company. David Goldie has the opportunity now to elevate his status in professional wrestling, Skylar, by not just winning a championship, but by winning the TNA International title.
You know, many of us saw Goldie as a 16-year-old kid that walked in the doors of the Monster Factory, and to have seen the evolution to becoming one of the top dogs now is unbelievable. Goldie is absolutely undeniable, but he's got his work cut out for him tonight against another of one of arguably the most successful graduates of the Monster Factory, the TNA International Championship. And if you look, this man is coming out with the original Monster Factory Championship belt. He won that a few years back. Danny Cage turned it into the Portal Championship, which he was to go on and defend in other locations, and fittingly, on the last night here at the world-famous Monster Factory, Maclin brings back that belt that he helped bring prestige to right here as a student and around the world.
This is a match that is a fight between top prospects of two different eras. Really, this match is to determine who the true golden child of the Monster Factory is. David Goldie, the current golden child, and Steve Maclin, who, as you put, one of the most successful men to ever come out of the Monster Factory.
You watched this man in the Monster Factory way back when, and now the world champion. He's a champion in TNA.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the TNA International Championship. Introducing the challenger, fighting out of Malta, New Jersey, weighing 217 pounds, David Goldie. His opponent, fighting out of Rutherford, New Jersey, weighing 230 pounds. He is a former Monster Factory heavyweight champion, and he is the reigning, defending TNA International Champion, Steve Maclin.
You think of the stakes here tonight, Jason. What if Goldie can pull off this victory and become the TNA International Championship? Many have said that we're standing by waiting to see this guy get signed. Could capturing that belt catapult him into a whole new stratosphere, a whole new chapter of his career?
There's no doubt about it. If David Goldie wins the TNA International Championship, he immediately walks in to TNA Wrestling. He doesn't walk in off the street. He walks in as a champion. This is the ultimate opportunity for David Goldie to elevate himself. But this is not the first time that these two men have fought.
No, it is not. These two met at the world-famous Monster Factory. Goldie actually won his previous encounter with Maclin, albeit through the use of shenanigans. Not exactly the cleanest victory in the world, but a victory is a victory in the books.
But Goldie is a better man now. He is very much stated that he regrets the way that he won that initial contest, and he promised a clean fight tonight to show that he is truly the golden boy of the Monster Factory franchise. And Maclin, taking him at his word, that hug of respect, two of the top dogs of their respective eras. But no matter all his accolades, no matter all his success, tonight, Maclin is coming in basically on enemy territory. This crowd is fervently in favor of David Goldie.
And if you're David Goldie, you're looking across the ring at a brick wall called Steve Maclin. Steve Maclin is a former actually I cannot say former, once a Marine, always a Marine. He is a veteran. He is a United States Marine. He is as tough as they come.
He's bulletproof, and David Goldie is going to discover that. In order to take down Steve Maclin, he is going to have to chip away at that armor, piece by piece.
A back elbow by Maclin sends Goldie to the mat as this plays out a classic story of power versus speed. Goldie is one of the fastest at the Monster Factory. Maclin delivering rather fast chop right across the chest of the Golden Boy.
Now, Goldie is no stranger to high-profile matches, but he has never been a world champion the way that Steve Maclin has. And so tonight, all of the import, all of the pomp, all of the circumstance, it's unlikely to get in either man's head, but Steve Maclin still has more big match experience.
And I think he's got more big chops in store for Goldie as he sends him across the ring into the other turnbuckle. Goldie floats up and over into an arm drag to Maclin. Again, the speed advantage we discussed coming into play. Flapjack.
David Goldie was pointed out as being a potential superstar since day one. He has really grown into that role, but still, the curse of potential is real. Sometimes it weighs heavy on you. Tonight is one of those nights where David Goldie either becomes a champion or he is told that he is someone who has all the potential to be a champion. That is a lot. That is a lot to carry in with you, especially given that, let's be very real, heading into this event, David Goldie has carried a lot of the weight of putting this night together behind the scenes. So maybe he is not at 100% mentally coming into this match.
But he's about to not be at 100% physically as Macklin laying down a brutal knee to the stomach followed by a knee to the spine. Goldie is reeling on the mats right now. Macklin into the cover and does not even get a 1 count.
Macklin is tough. Macklin is very used to receiving a hostile response from a crowd. Macklin is literally used to combat, as you said. So he is not going to be phased or affected by the fact that we have a partisan crowd here in favor of David Goldie.
We just sent Goldie up and over, flying through the air with that back body drop. Referee Ben Barnett checking on Goldie. That back has got to be killing him right now.
Steve Macklin has a bit more mass on Goldie. We're seeing that come into play right now in that pin, draping that chest across David Goldie, getting great coverage.
You know, Macklin is not a small guy. That is in the mid-200s of muscle. Having to get that off of you at every pin.
2 there for Steve Macklin, who's continuing to press the advantage. Macklin is a tactician in the ring, and he has managed to put Goldie on the back foot very early on.
That had to be the strategy from the beginning. Goldie fighting back, giving Macklin a taste of those chops that he was laying into him earlier. Goldie with an Irish whip across the ring. Macklin reverses and takes his head off with a clothesline.
And Macklin may have forgiven Goldie for how he won their previous match, but he certainly hasn't forgotten. And now we see Macklin going for that cover and immediately continuing to grind down on Goldie, not allowing Goldie to have an opportunity to recover. This is the professional experience of Steve Macklin.
Steve Macklin grinding in that modified chin lock. Referee asking Goldie if he wants to give up.
Macklin beginning to wear down the body, the heart, the mind, and the soul of David Goldie. How demoralizing would it be here for either man to lose tonight, the finale of the Monster Factory, to say, in my last match in my home, in the place that made me who I am, I came up short.
Well, regardless of the outcome, I know Goldie is going to give it his absolute all. Macklin grinding
No offense,
him.
there's no regardless of the outcome. This is the most important match, particularly of David Goldie's life. He has an opportunity to become a champion here in TNA. How can it be regardless of the outcome?
Big back elbow takes Macklin down to the mat. Goldie, too worn out to take advantage. Both men down. Referee administering the 10 count. He's up to 2.
But unsurprisingly, Macklin is up first because Goldie has taken a lot more punishment.
Back and forth, exchanging strikes.
Throwing bombs at each other, and more landing than not in both directions.
Goldie getting the advantage. Oh, and a kick right to the back of the head, the base of the neck of Macklin, and a knee.
2 unprotected shots to the back. It hurts more when you can't prepare for it. It hurts more when you can't see it.
German suplex. Did you see that bridge?
And right on the same back of the neck. Clearly, Goldie has found a weak spot. He's looking to incapacitate the neck, the vertebrae of Steve Macklin. Even if he could just give Macklin a stinger, he could completely disrupt the electrical flow in that man's body, and that will keep Macklin from being able to move as quickly, as efficiently, as viciously as he has done so far in this match.
Goldie all the way up top. Macklin spotted him and cut him down. Goldie is now seated on that top turnbuckle.
There is a raw aggression to Steve Macklin that so far Goldie has been unable to counter with all of his technique. We're going to need to see a next level of passion, a next level of heart from David Goldie if he wants to establish himself as the official star of this company.
Goldie fighting back in a very precarious position. Both men, another chop to the chest by Macklin, and we can hear those all the way over here. Macklin setting up for a superplex to the middle of the ring.
Holds on.
Fireman's carry.
Ushigoroshi.
Goldie's own move.
Macklin knows exactly what he's doing. Even with only two, he is trying to make a statement here. Macklin is a man with a lot of pride. He credits the Monster Factory with help make him the man that he is. He is not going down in the center of that ring without a fight on this night especially, more than any other.
Macklin looking for that KIA. Goldie felt it.
Let's be clear, Macklin doesn't have to take this match. Macklin chooses to be here. He is choosing to put this belt on the line. If he loses, he has no one but himself to blame.
Backbreaker by Macklin into the cover.
Shot to half.
Kicked out at 2.
Goldie looking very worse for wear, but you can't deny that no matter how much of a beating Goldie is taking, he consistently is getting that shoulder up and earning himself minute after minute of continuation. As long as you're in the fight, you have a chance to win it, even if it's beginning to dwindle.
Macklin picking Goldie up. Goldie fighting, trying to stay off of that top rope.
Clearly, Macklin remembers when Goldie hit 3 unprotected shots to the back of his head and neck, because Macklin doing the same to Mr. Gold.
And now Goldie tied up in the tree of woe. Macklin's got him in his crosshairs.
Front towards the enemy. Macklin is going on a full frontal assault. Well, maybe spoke too soon.
Tag him, bag him. That was right into the ribs of Goldie.
But Goldie almost instinctually rolling underneath those ropes and doesn't grab the ropes, has the wherewithal to kick out even from that tag and bag.
A razor-thin margin between the referee's head and that mat right before Goldie kicked out.
Rumors of David Goldie's demise, perhaps a tad too soon, and the crowd trying to rouse David Goldie.
And Northern Lights suplex with a bridge. Goldie rolls through,
caving the chest through the rib cage of Steve Macklin.
Goldie heading up to the high rent district now.
Skyler, if you can't breathe, you can't fight. All the wind just got taken out of the body of Steve Macklin.
Goldie with a senton bomb. The height, the angle. Macklin reverses.
So close. Millimeters of a second away.
Goldie
with that crucifix.
Goroshi. Can that? No. He just kicked out of the Ushigoroshi. Goldie has finished so many matches, won so many championships with that move. What do you do now?
Macklin is throwing everything he has at Goldie. Goldie is throwing everything he has at Macklin. No matter what, you're seeing that David Goldie can hold his own against the best this world has to offer. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when the rest of the universe is going to see what we've seen out of David Goldie for the past several years here at the Monster Factory.
Forearms to the face, back and forth as both men are on their knees trying to fight to their feet.
I was about to say not as much power in those strikes, and Macklin proves me a liar.
Goldie digging into the reserve. Macklin meets him into the ropes with an elbow to the face. Goldie,
unconventional offense by the man who is simply born better but still works his ass off every single day.
He's exposing the knee. I think we're going for it, Jason. Springboard knee misses.
Maclin. That drive-by kick right to the head of David Goldie. This may be the end. This may be the final nail in the coffin for David Goldie.
KIA. Goldie comes up just short. Maclin is still your champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout and still TNA International Champion, Steve Maclin.
It would have been an upset, absolutely. But David Goldie came so close to establishing himself on the national scene here tonight by defeating Steve Maclin for that international title. It just was not to be.
Even though it didn't happen, one can only hope the international eyes were on this one and can see what we've all known in the Philadelphia, in the New Jersey, in the Northeast area for years, and that's that Goldie has it. Goldie can stand toe-to-toe with a talent like Steve Maclin. Take him to the limit.
And now Maclin holding that Monster Factory title, holding David Goldie, providing words one has to assume of encouragement.
Oh, he's giving him the title back. Steve Maclin gave Goldie back the original Monster Factory championship belt, heavyweight championship belt. So much significance in that moment. So much significance to that belt.
May not have been a victory in terms of a 3 count, but it is a victory in terms of a passing of the torch from one golden ace to another. David Goldie, the face of the factory.
Major sign of respect from Steve Maclin of all people.
A titanic battle between two of the best that were ever forged here in this factory on a night where we celebrate the history, the lineage of this company. We have to recognize this man, David Goldie. The vanguard, one of the best, the leader of his generation.
This kid has come so far and leaves here tonight knowing the Monster Factory, Philadelphia, New Jersey, we are all extremely proud of him. Well, if you thought we saw chaos, you haven't seen anything yet, because the Monster Factory Championship is about to be on the line.
To be fair, we did see controlled chaos.
We did see that.
But this is going to be completely uncontrolled chaos, because here in the House of Extreme, it is pro wrestling poetry that we have an Extreme Rules match for our Monster Factory Heavyweight Championship contest.
There was no other way to do it when you were coming into the House of Hardcore.
Two wrestlers whose careers have run parallel and now fight to determine who will be the final Monster Factory Heavyweight Champion.
Chris Desmond under the ring already, wasting no time. I see a trash can lid, I see kendo sticks, I see the rest of the trash can.
Finding some plunder. It's going to be brutal.
I think ring announcer Derek Lewis is a little concerned. He may have been getting hit with that for a second. There's a chair.
This is an opportunity for both Chris Desmond and the Notorious Mimi to end the rivalry definitively. Chris Desmond, a former 2-time Monster Factory champion, looking to make it number 3 right now. And not just number 3, but final. Whoever wins this match will make history as the last Monster Factory heavyweight champion. You see Chris Desmond paying homage to one of the legendary hardcore wrestlers of the New York Northeast area, the Notorious 187 Homicide.
Homicide's had his own run-ins with the Monster Factory, once Desmond remembers quite well. And whoa, we've got the fireworks on display
we've got a presentation befitting an angel, though she may be fallen. The notorious Mimi, the first ever female Larry Sharp Memorial Cup winner, the first ever female Monster Factory heavyweight champion, a former NXT superstar, but most importantly, the baddest Bish in the building.
No fear in the eyes of the notorious Mimi.
One of the faces of the factory. She is a vicious competitor who has truly come into her own over the last several months when she stopped giving an SHIT about what anybody thinks of her and instead focused purely on herself.
Definitely has presented the results that she was looking for. This is a different Mimi than we are used to seeing. Oh, disrespecting Desmond by throwing the belt in his face as we turn it over to Derek T. Lewis for the...
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the co-main event of the evening. The following is an Extreme Rules match. It is for the Monster Factory Championship. Introducing the challenger, fighting out of Summerdale, New Jersey, weighing 175 pounds. He is a former Monster Factory Tag Team Champion, a former two-time middleweight medallion holder, the 2024 Turkey Slam Rumble winner, and the former two-time Monster Factory Champion, the Heat Seeker, Chris Desmond. His opponent, fighting out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, weighing 150 pounds. She is the final Monster Factory Girls Champion, a former two-time Monster Factory Tag Team Champion, a former Supersonic Champion, the 2025 Larry Sharp Memorial Cup winner, and ladies and gentlemen, 2300 Arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, she is the first woman to be your reigning, defending, undisputed Monster Factory Champion, the notorious Mimi.
She has become the absolute best version of herself as a pro wrestler by becoming the worst version of herself as a person. I'm not sure what lesson there is to take from that, but you find success where you can, and there is no doubt that Notorious Mimi is better than she has ever been right now in this moment, in this arena, making history day after day.
And the world has taken notice as she was just recently a competitor for the WWE ID Women's Championship.
These two pacing, weapons in hand.
All the eyes that need to be on her are on her, and as is Chris Desmond swinging away with that kendo stick and Mimi using that trash can as a shield. Desmond kicks it right back into her face.
It was Chris Desmond that Mimi defeated in order to become the Monster Factory champion. Desmond looking to become a three-time champion, and the Heat Seeker is on fire.
The Heat Seeker almost flew out into the front row with that splash. Clothesline off of that chair.
You're going to see innovation. You're going to see violence as befits here. The House of Hardcore, the 2300 Arena. And let me say really quickly, wow, Mimi just introduced herself to a steel chair.
Desmond with a scoop slam.
What an absolute honor it is to be able to call a match here, not only on the final night of the Monster Factory, but also here in this building. This is a career highlight for me, Skyler. I think the same for you and everyone here on the roster.
Likewise, and I think it's a career highlight for Chris Desmond to deliver the roadkill on a chair.
Mimi being
arena.
Flattened. Usually when Desmond does this, and it's only two, there's not a chair adding to the pressure on the skull of the notorious Mimi.
Well, again, as we said earlier, those banners with the names of hardcore legends right there behind you. How can you not draw inspiration to make this match that much more violent, that much more extreme as Desmond hits the ropes?
Well, Desmond was swinging for the fences, but there we go. Mimi,
she swung for the fences, all right. She caught him right on the top of the skull.
yeah, that was a solid line drive right into the skull of Chris Desmond, freshly shaven for war. There's no disqualifications. There's no countouts. This match is going to go all over this arena. Guarantee it.
Into the barricade goes Chris Desmond's head. Mimi with the cookie sheet right across the back.
The notorious Mimi is looking to claw her way back to the top of this industry, and she will do whatever it takes to get there, and she will put anyone down that stands in her way. But now, when the human skull meets steel, Skylar, the skull always loses, because that steel post is the real hardest part of the ring. Don't listen to what anyone's ever told you about the apron. It's a lie.
Well, as we roll back into the ring, Desmond in control. Mimi dazed from her skull, hitting that turnbuckle post. Desmond has a bat with, is that glass? Are those Legos?
Glass Legos, what's the difference?
Whatever it is, it's about to hurt when he hits Mimi with it.
Pretty sure it is Legos.
And she is running like a scalded dog.
No, she's running like a woman who's being chased by a man with a Lego bat. We don't need to add any metaphor to this. That's a real thing.
She's getting her cardio in today and got that cookie sheet shot in. Many times he's been hit with it tonight. I think Desmond's not going to want cookies for a while.
Mimi is feeling herself, and she has every reason to be.
Stop! Oh, and that wasn't just onto the trash can lid. That was a throat across that steel cable.
Not just looking to end this match, potentially looking to end Chris Desmond overall, as Mimi seeks to retain and coming ever closer to walking out tonight as the final Monster Factory champion.
Mimi with the kendo stick across the back.
Shades of the legendary Sandman here, paying homage to one of the legends of this building, but also just really hurting the heck out of Chris Desmond. Pretty sure that's more the point.
Wedging that chair into the turnbuckle. What does the notorious Mimi have in mind?
Pretty sure looking to split the wig of Chris Desmond across that steel chair.
Desmond reverses. Mimi goes into the chair, back first.
Nearly hoisted by her own petard.
And now a Hurricane Rana variation into the turnbuckle, into the chair, bashing the skull of Chris Desmond into that turnbuckle. Drop kick right to the nose, into the cover. 1, 2, well, only a 2 count.
Chris Desmond just got spiked 3 times, temple first. First into a chair, and then twice into the turnbuckle pad. He's got to be seeing stars. And now Mimi adding to the pain.
Mimi seeing an opportunity to retain her championship. He's with the mounted punches to the head of Chris Desmond. And now Mimi going underneath the ring.
Chris Desmond may be regretting shaving that head, because it turns out it just looks like a target to the notorious Mimi.
I think may have been a target regardless. The toss of the trash can hits Chris Desmond in the head.
Desmond gasping like a fish in the center of the ring, one out of water.
Mimi has to hold it, and again to the cookie sheet.
Mimi's got a lot of toys to play with, and she doesn't like to share.
Facebuster on the cookie sheet. You know, despite her using it as a weapon, I've heard Mimi's she bakes some good cookies as she goes into the Heaven's Gate. Armbar. Is Desmond going to tap out?
Wants to make Chris Desmond submit, add a little bit of insult to the injury. No one likes to lose a match, but there is a particular point of pride that pro wrestlers have when they can make their opponents tap out instead. There's a little bit of shame a lot of wrestlers feel when their hand hits that mat 3 times.
And now Desmond with a crossface variation using that. Is that a cookie sheet? Or is that the trash can lid? I can't tell from the glare.
Either way, it's being shoved right into the mouth of Notorious Mimi. Clearly, Desmond has heard enough.
That was the cookie sheet, and Mimi just blasted Desmond in the face with it yet again. Standing on a very arrogant cover. Not going to get the job done.
Oftentimes, you'll see a wrestler try and compromise a leg, maybe the back, maybe an arm. Tonight, Notorious Mimi has said the top of that skull is fair game. I am going to break the brain of Chris Desmond.
Watch out for the trash can. Desmond with a great toss, nailing Mimi right in the face, getting the advantage back, and taking control of this match with the kendo stick in hand. Issuing a beating. I think that last one went right across the net, and that's a White Russian leg sweep. Shades of the Sandman.
Chris Desmond clearly felt every hit, and now cracking Mimi across the skull. Unconventional cover, and Mimi having to bust out.
Mimi kicking out of the cover attempt. Desmond going to the outside.
One of these two is going to hold the honor of being the final Monster Factory champion. This is the last night of the Monster Factory. This is the very last heavyweight championship match that will ever be held under the auspices of the Monster Factory. And these two incredible fighters deserve the honor of being the competitors in this match. But Skylar, only one of them can win. The other will ever and permanently be the loser.
Mimi just had a seat in the chair, and look, Desmond went for the heat seeker. Mimi had it scouted. Looking for the Angel's wings on the chair. Perhaps that's exactly what she gets.
Over and over, Desmond gets drilled right in the dome, and now Mimi gonna retain.
Mimi's got to be in disbelief. We've seen her finish people off with the Angel's wings before.
Frustration, anger, all of it etched on the face of pro wrestling's Angel, and now she's looking to take out the trash.
Desmond now wearing the trash can. I think Mimi is going to be looking for...
Not only is this going to add a lot of impact, it also adds a lot of sound to the mood, and that can really ring your bell.
6-1-0. And now Mimi. Oh!
At this point, Chris Desmond doesn't know what area code he's in.
The pump kick to the face. Oh, and Desmond able to kick out. Perhaps a little bit of space in between that trash can may have shielded him from the full impact.
And a temper tantrum center of the ring from our champion, who clearly thought that by this point she would be hitting the showers and the pay window. What a trendsetter Notorious Mimi has been, but Chris Desmond was the winner of last year's Turkey Slam. It changed his career, and he may have just broken the back of an Angel.
Vertebreaker, Desmond into the cover. The roll. I straight called a 3 because I swore I saw a 3. She got her shoulder off of that canvas at the last possible millisecond.
As close as it could possibly get, but now Desmond has to wonder what's it gonna take, because Mimi is possessed. Mimi has made history by being the first woman to ever become the Monster Factory heavyweight champion. She is not about to lose that place that she clawed her entire career to get to.
Oh, we've got the door.
You heard about a stairway to heaven. What about a door to hell?
A door to success, for Desmond, possibly.
Pretty sure it's not going to be successful for whoever goes through it.
It definitely won't, but perhaps it will be successful in winning someone the Monster Factory Championship. Was that a crutch that just Mimi got hit on the back with?
And now, Chris Desmond looking to create a contraption.
He's going to need another chair, and he gets one, jabbing Mimi in the hip.
Who knew that erector set from childhood was going to become so useful later in life? Building skills as kids that pays off in adults, kids.
That is prime positioning in that corner. to go through that door. Mimi is in a very dangerous predicament right now. Desmond taking her up top, going up top with her. We've seen him hit the Spanish Fly before. Are we going to see an encore? This is how their last hardcore match ended. Mimi had it scouted.
When is a door not a door? When it's a table. And now Mimi biting the flesh of Chris Desmond. And Mimi pulling into her pocket.
The chain! And Desmond flies off the top and goes through the door. Mimi knocked him out with that chain.
And wrapping her arm and her elbow in the chain, looking to put an arrow through the heart of the Heat Seeker.
Was that? Oh, barely got the shoulder up.
Chris Desmond continues to keep the fire burning. Mimi has been unable to blow out the flame of Chris Desmond, but now she's hoping to simply knock it into unconsciousness. Chris Desmond continuing to struggle in the center of the ring, and we talked before. Maybe we manifested it because there is in fact a ladder now in the ring.
The ladder is success, as you put it.
Well, I said it was going to be a stairway to heaven, and that's exactly where an angel belongs. I'm pretty sure Mimi is about to ascend, if only to fall once again onto Chris Desmond's hopes and dreams.
You know, ordinarily in a ladder match, you would have a championship up there to be going for. There is no reward up there. Mimi, nonetheless, that determined to destroy Chris Desmond, that she's going to elevate herself as high as she can do it. And Desmond reverses into a power bomb.
Through the door, Chris Desmond! What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take to shoot down this angel?
The frustration setting in for Chris Desmond. He did not expect Mimi to kick out of that. No one expected Mimi to kick out of that.
This match has defied all expectations. This match has proven that when the richest prize in the factory is on the line, men and women will put their bodies on the line. They will shorten their careers because tonight is the last night they have to make a statement for the Monster Factory, where these demons have been forged.
Desmond repositioning the ladder.
Desmond taking a risk that all this setup is going to pay off and that Mimi won't recover. He has laid the angel upon the table, looking to sacrifice her at the altar of his own success.
There is no way Desmond is thinking what I'm thinking he's thinking.
I don't think Desmond is thinking. I think he's feeling. Right now he's feeling a cookie sheet across the small of his back.
But was he thinking spiral tap from that ladder? Could he do that?
Never doubt the athleticism of either Chris Desmond or Notorious Mimi. And if Mimi's going to try and stand on that other side of the ladder, that is extremely dangerous. There are not rungs meant for the human body.
There is also a concrete floor beneath her.
And Mimi is in tremendous danger. Not that Desmond isn't, just a backhand with the cookie sheet.
Well, Desmond now, whoa! A powerbomb variation off the springboarding off that top rope. Through the door, 1, 2, 3, that's it! We've got a new champion!
Chris Desmond, 3-time Monster Factory champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Extreme Rules match and new Monster Factory champion, the Heat Seeker, Chris Desmond.
Chris Desmond pulls the hat trick. He is a 3-time Monster Factory heavyweight champion, but maybe more importantly, he goes down as the final competitor to hold this coveted title, as a huge chapter in all of our lives ends, as the Monster Factory reaches its untimely end tonight. Chris Desmond is the standard bearer of our company on this bittersweet evening. The notorious Mimi was a trailblazer, a trendsetter. Truly one of the best professional wrestlers of her generation. But Chris Desmond, tonight is his night, and here in the House of Extreme, he let it all out in order to achieve his destiny.
There is an absolute wreck in the ring that needs to be cleared out now. Did not disappoint, just as chaotic, just as destructive as their first hardcore encounter. Jason, this is unbelievable.
And we're not even close to finish, because if you thought that was chaos and you thought that was carnage, congratulations, you were correct. It absolutely was. But we still have coming up next the eponymous 2025 Turkey Slam Rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stick around following the main event for a very, very special announcement. Okay? Stick around. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event of the evening, and it is now time for the Turkey Slam Rumble. Here are the rules. In just a few moments, entrants number 1 and number 2 will enter the ring, and the Rumble will begin for 2 minutes. Then, every 60 seconds thereafter, another participant will enter the ring. Remember, in the Turkey Slam Rumble, it is every wrestler for themselves. Elimination occurs when a wrestler is thrown over the top rope and both feet must touch the floor. The last person standing after all participants have entered and been eliminated will be the winner of the Turkey Slam Rumble and will earn a future championship opportunity. Now, let us all find out who drew number 1. Here is entrant number 1, the next big deal, the Energy, Daniel Alexander.
We are here, finally arriving at the main event of Turkey Slam 2025, the eponymous Turkey Slam, and entering number 1, maybe the most unlucky number with the greatest hill to climb. It is Daniel Alexander, Mr. 1-800-Banger himself.
If anybody's got the energy in them to make it from number 1 to number 40 and win this thing, you're looking at him right now.
Now, let us all find out who drew number 2. He was entered number 2 from Controlled Chaos, Kid Chaos.
Number 2, just as tough a draw as number 1, but with a lot less celebration behind it. Kid Chaos is going to have to fight from underneath, and already had a match earlier tonight, a fatal 4-way, where he lost the tag team titles. So you know there's a lot of anger in the eyes and in the heart of Kid Chaos.
No time wasted at all by Kid Chaos, dashing to the ring, taking it right to Daniel Alexander, and look at the kicks on display.
We heard it from Derek T. Lewis, but just to repeat, this is an over-the-top rope battle royal with sequential entries. There are going to be 40 entrants. Look at the agility by Daniel Alexander. The only way to eliminate an opponent is for them to go over the top rope and both feet touching the floor. Similar sartorial styles between these two competitors, Skylar.
Back and forth strikes, deadly as ever.
I'm saying they like the same colors.
Absolutely, they do. Daniel Alexander showing that he might not have been trained at the Red Dragon Dojo, but his kicks are just as deadly as he has got Kid Chaos on the ropes. Oh, Kid Chaos up over the top rope.
It's a rare sight to see Daniel Alexander at the Monster Factory these days, but he is one of the greatest middleweights in the history of the company. And Kid Chaos already wrestling a match earlier tonight. Coming in potentially at a disadvantage here. Real chip on the shoulder, I'm sure, for both members of Controlled Chaos. Gotta assume if Kid Chaos is in this match, Papa Juice can't be far behind.
Unquestionably, as Kid Chaos trying to lift Daniel Alexander up and over that top rope. Alexander with a reversal.
It's a 2-minute heat to start. After that, every 60 seconds, a new competitor will enter the match. It is to your, well, it's very good strategy to try and eliminate your opponent as quickly as possible and get a rest, especially this early on.
Get a rest, and there's got to be a psychological advantage that comes with running the table. As we have entrants number 3 and 4 on the way to the ring. Number 3 is Jules Z.
The Sunset Striker, the Denim Dolphin. Jules Z is a vibe, and over the last few months has really made an impression on our weekly program, TRL.
Here comes entrant number 4 shortly after we have him entering 2 at a time. Here comes Guarantee Mike Z.
The former Monster Factory champion was recently taken out of action in a heinous attack that was revealed last night to have been by Cowboy Pete Carter. It's why the Guaranteed Murph Z were not able to compete in that 4-way tag team match earlier. So Mike Z wants to make up for that missed opportunity by winning the Turkey Slam.
And look at that athleticism on display by Jules Z. That Hurricane Rana out of the corner on Mike Z. Mike Z's got him up in the torture rack. Daniel Alexander, oh, he's using Jules Z as a weapon.
Like Terry Funk with a ladder, except it's Mike Z with Jules Z.
Well, I guess Jules Z is tall and lanky like a ladder, but Mike Z just dropped him with that neck breaker. Philadelphia firmly behind Mike Z.
The Guarantee looking to try and punch his ticket to a guaranteed opportunity in the future.
I think it's time for number 5. Who do we have here, Jason?
Well, I've been told that he likes to steal noses and he comes from the circus. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Super Pogo.
And he will be followed very shortly by number 6.
Super Pogo very quickly being introduced to the bottom of Mike Z's boot. And Mike Z has made quite the impact so far in this match.
And here comes Santiago Figueroa.
What an incredible statistic it is for this young man, as Santiago Figueroa making his debut tonight, meaning that he is the very last student of the Monster Factory who will ever debut on the roster.
The last dragon in action. We will see, can he also become the last person to ever win a Turkey Slam Rumble?
The last of the line of the Monster Factory, but now it's time to see. Will we see it? I almost thought it was time for the Mike Z Guarantee, but Super Pogo got in the way. That's what happens with clowns.
Suplex by Mike Z.
They ruin a good time. We're 6 in, no eliminations to speak of so far. Still not even a fourth of the way through the field of this super-sized Turkey Slam. It was many, many years ago that Anthony Bennett was the first winner of the Turkey Slam in his debut. Can Santiago do the same in this one?
And we are moving quickly here because here comes number 7.
One of our colleagues most recently on the broadcast booth.
Could it be? And it is. That is absolutely one of our colleagues here, my best buddy, my bro, Devlin Ridley, back where he belongs in the ring after 6 months.
And we just saw it, the Mike Z Guarantee. And Devlin Ridley coming back after 6 months away with a compressed spine and neck.
I'm sure that's not the way he wanted to come back. but I'm happy to see him in the ring. And now, you want to talk about a comeback?
You want to talk about returns?
Philadelphia on their feet. It is time to eat. Eat it up.
Sometimes you say let him cook, but tonight with Bobby Buffet, you say let him eat. Because he's got a full plate right now in the ring. And Kid Chaos is first in line.
Spare ribs.
This is the first time we're seeing Bobby Buffet wrestle a match in over a year.
And he does not look like he missed a step. He is cutting down competitor after competitor. This is undeniably the most anticipated return in the Turkey Slam Rumble. Look at Bobby Buffet like a wrecking ball plowing through everyone.
Easily an early favorite to win the whole dang thing. Bobby Buffet returns. Every single competitor is on the menu.
The earthquake, the impact. Bobby with a hip to the corner.
What do you think that was on the Richter scale?
I don't even know what the Richter scale registers as, but whatever the highest is, we're going to go with that.
Good God, we need to improve the school system, Skylar. That is
really
sad.
Because here comes number 9. This is Tynell Elliott.
A street fighter who was trained by his Golden Gloves winning grandfather, Tynell Elliott, part of the final class of Monster Factory students alongside Santiago.
And Santiago is apparently eliminated.
And here, one half of the Show Dogs. It's Nazir Bailey in only his 4th match of his career. We're now officially a quarter of the way through the field. We've had one elimination. It's still anybody's game. But right now, gotta say Mike Z and Bobby Buffet looking like early favorites to go the distance.
He's a little worried about Super Pogo there.
I'm always worried about Super Pogo. Terrified of clowns. You've seen it. And that is it. Nazir Bailey taking it to Super Pogo as Devlin Ridley trying to catch a break in the corner.
Very smart, getting away from the crowd. And now he's going to help out to take the punishment to Julesy.
You're seeing strange bedfellows. Who would have expected Mike Z and Kid Chaos to be working together? But that's what Bobby Buffet will do. He changes the dynamic.
Well, you want to talk about changing the dynamic. Tori Dawn,
that witch, last night on TRL won an impromptu battle royal. Can she do the same tonight and go all the way and become the winner of the 2025 Turkey Slam?
Drilling competitor after competitor, and here comes number 12. You know that music. You know who it is.
Up there with Bobby Buffet has to be considered one of the favorites to go all the way despite this early placement. One of the franchise players of the Monster Factory, Skylar.
At one point, you'd call him inevitable. Now he is unchained and unleashing fury on the entire field in the ring. It's Travis Jacobs, and I think he just knocked Super Pogo's lights out.
He made Super Pogo go Super Loco as Travis Jacobs, maybe the MVP of past Turkey Slams, except he's done everything that there is to do.
Giant sit-out choke slam, shades of Damian Priest, and there goes Julesy.
Eliminated by Travis Jacobs, who holds the record for the most eliminations of anyone ever in a Turkey Slam, or across all the Turkey Slams. He has spent more time in a Turkey Slam combined than any other wrestler. And Travis Jacobs, wait, Devlin Ridley is now eliminated
by Bobby Buffet, and now a true clash of titans.
It seemingly was going to be really quickly. Travis Jacobs, runner-up 5 times. He has been 5 times the runner-up, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, as Clockwork Dylan Shaw says maybe it's his time now.
And 2 of those times he was eliminated by Bobby Buffet, the man he's standing right across from in the ring. And here comes number 14. You want to talk about world-famous Monster Factory? Well, this is the world-famous Cheeseburger.
World-traveled, world-beloved, world-famous. He's wrestled in the Tokyo Dome. And now he's here in the 2300 arena. The head of the Worldwide Wrestling Dojo, former Ring of Honor superstar, and finding that chopping Travis Jacobs is equivalent to hand chopping an actual tree, and instead Mike Z being offered as a sacrifice. Dylan Shaw, similarly.
Dylan caught that one right on the nose.
Cheeseburger throwing everyone at the altar of Travis Jacobs.
Hoping that might curry some favor for him later on, I suppose, but now he's...
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do the same thing to Bobby Buffet.
This is the definition of being caught between a rock and a hard place, Jason. Between Bobby Buffet and Travis Jacobs, that is not an enviable position, but...
Got to hand it earlier to Dylan Shaw, by the way, who immediately ran towards the big bulls, and that is going to be the end of Daniel Alexander.
And Super Pogo on the other side of the ring. Oh! Cheeseburger with some evasive skills there.
Cheeseburger, well known for his sleight of hand offense, knows how to dazzle opponents, and we are up now to number 15, the Renegade, EJ Rodriguez.
Nice pronunciation there as EJ wasting no time laying in bomb after bomb on every competitor, and you know that music right there. That is Mr. Friday Night, Mr. TRL. Well, I guess that's Mark Raspa, but this is Brian Murphy throwing out.
For one last night, he will be Brian Murphy from the world-famous Monster Factory. You gotta wonder if there's any feelings of gimmick infringement from the world-famous Cheeseburger.
But world-famous will collide, but world-famous in this battle royal is Murphy throwing out the fruit roll-ups.
The master of the roll-up, unfortunately, in an over-the-top rope battle royal, that roll-up is not particularly effective as an offensive maneuver.
And we're on the cusp of another elimination by Brian Murphy here.
Nazir Bailey.
Oh, Mike Z, guarantee. I forgot we got a tag team here. Look.
That's right, the tag team, the Mike Z. The Murph Z guarantee just gets a bang. Cheeseburger's getting into
the action.
New trios.
And I think they let their guard down against the wily veteran.
Cheeseburger seems like a nice guy, but actuality, he's a menace.
No, Cheeseburger is smart is what he is.
Sure, but to know Cheeseburger is to realize.
And we are flying here because here comes number 17, Colin Roach on the way to the ring.
Who just lost his tag team partner, Nazir Bailey, one half of the Show Dogs, Colin Roach, part of that quartet of the final class of the Monster Factory.
Oh! It just got real!
Some of the heaviest hands in Monster Factory history are about to get thrown. Who's going to be the first victim of Royal Money?
It just got real. We haven't seen Royal Money in a long time. This man is here to stand on business in the 2300 arena. You might think you're tough because you're from Philly, but you ain't from Camden.
The last time we saw Royal Money, he was coming to the aid of Travis Jacobs. Will he do the same tonight, or are they going to do battle? It is every man for himself in the end. Colin Roach is unfortunately the first victim.
That's got to be the most intimidating stare in the Monster Factory history.
Oh, God, EJ Rodriguez nearly being decapitated, and now it is Kid Chaos taking the brunt as Royal Money having his way with the young ones.
Oh no, you made a grave mistake there.
Dylan Shaw is braver, perhaps, than he is wise.
He thinks he's hitting the Mike Z guarantee.
He always thinks he's hitting the Mike Z guarantee.
Sky high shades of D'Lo Brown.
I think that Mike Z has like, what, a 7% success rate of hitting that move? If that.
But Royal's got a 100% success rate of getting rid of Mike Z.
And Mike Z, much to the dislike of this crowd, an early favorite.
Spare ribs to Royal Money.
is taken out of the field.
And we have lost the turnbuckle pad yet again, Jason.
It has been the greatest.
Oh, good Lord, look at the power! Bobby Buffet out already!
And Bobby Buffet will not eliminate Travis Jacobs this time.
Travis Jacobs turns the table, and I think that has been the most unpopular thing that has happened in this arena all freaking night.
The Unchained Fury, Travis Jacobs, establishing dominance very clearly. The top of the pack here in the Turkey Slam.
Well, we are on.
We're about to be halfway through the field, but first we got to get number 19. He is royalty, making his way from La Isla de Rico, España. It is Francisco de la Torre, the Prince.
And he's going right for Travis Jacobs, probably not the smartest move.
Continuing to look to conquer the Monster Factory. And here, a huge surprise, WWE legend, Jesus Rodriguez.
Definitely a surprise here. The stars are coming out here tonight in Philadelphia as Jesus Rodriguez cleaning house.
It is a celebration of the impact that the Monster Factory has had, and now Tori Dawn, that witch, towering over her and dismissing her is Jesus Rodriguez, but Tori Dawn taking the legend off his feet.
That proved to be a mistake. Francisco de la Torre backing Kid Chaos up in the corner. Tori Dawn is in trouble now.
Tori Dawn may be about to lose her footing and her place in this match.
And I did not have Tori Dawn. Well, getting saved by Kid Chaos.
Unintentional though it may be, it was effective, and now Tori Dawn still in this match, just clawing and pawing at Jesus Rodriguez.
Oh, and now he knocks her off. There goes Tori Dawn.
That witch is out, and so it seems is Kid Chaos.
Courtesy of Jesus Rodriguez.
We are halfway through the field. We've still got the world famous cheeseburger. We've got Brian Murphy, Travis Jacobs, Jesus Rodriguez, Royal Money. Got to pick those right now as your top 5 in this match. But there's still an entire 20 competitors to go, including this man.
I think Phil Winslow might have something to say about that.
The man that matters is ready to cook. He's not only a pro wrestler, he's also a private chef, and he is ready to serve up Royal Money.
Well, I hope Royal throws him out really quick and he can make us something to eat. Because I'm hungry. I don't know about you, Jason.
Another wrestler who was in that tag team title match earlier, Isaac Taylor with Cowboy Pete Carter.
Cowboy Pete Carter sure to make a difference here tonight.
Immediately beating on the youngest and most inexperienced member of the match is Colin Roach. Showtime being taken down by Isaac Taylor. And Clockwork Dylan Shaw, the bell has tolled for thee.
A good showing all the same for Dylan Shaw as Isaac Taylor's now caught in an ankle lock by Cheeseburger. He can tap out all he wants, it doesn't count.
Dylan Shaw showed tremendous bravery, constantly picking fights with those bigger and more experienced than himself. That is how you learn. High five there between, very briefly, a moment of joy and union between Jesus Rodriguez and Brian Murphy, but it was not to be. You can see who's standing, and it's Travis Jacobs, it's Cheeseburger, it's Jesus Rodriguez, and it's Royal Money, and that sounds about right.
Royal lighting up the chest of Francisco de la Torre with the chops. And Jesus Rodriguez now has him draped over the ropes, choking him.
Right now, we're going to go ahead and get number 23, and I think the fix is in.
I think it sounds like some backup.
Well, it sounds like someone may have got paid off because the Italian tank immediately coming in after Isaac Taylor. I think that Pete's posse may have paid off some sort of official.
And I think Royal Money is not amused with the antics of Pete's posse, and who is this? This is a front toward the enemy. This is Steve Macklin.
Immediately the most dangerous man in any match he is in. We saw Steve Macklin defend his TNA.
Look at the strength of Steve Macklin on display.
It's insane. Steve Macklin successfully defended the TNA International Championship, and now he wants the opportunity to vie for a Monster Factory title.
There goes EJ Rodriguez.
The Renegade is gone.
Oh, and Franchico, his head hit the rope, and there goes Franchico Della Corte. I guess I can take my crown off.
This serviceman does not believe in royalty, and now we saw Goldie, one of the franchise players, going up against Macklin, and here's the other one, Travis Jacobs, fist to fist with Steve Macklin.
There is no royalty in the United States Marine Corps.
There should be no royalty in the United States at all. No kings!
Oh!
No king!
Not if you ask Travis Jacobs. He intends on being the king of this ring tonight as he delivers that sit-out choke slam. Again, seemingly a reference to Damian Priest.
Trying to figure out who's been in this match the longest. I think at this point it may well be Travis Jacobs. And now a fan favorite, the former TRL champion, the first ever TRL champion, the Wild Child, Christian Rocco. Double clothesline by the man who made karaoke into an art form and a weapon.
Well, I think this Rumble is about to get a hell of a lot more fabulous because here comes Sebastian Valentino.
Rolling down the runway, it is one half of High Fashion. And while they were not able to claim the tag team titles, maybe they can get another shot in the future for some kind of championship opportunity. I'm still honestly unsure. We were told that the winner would get a title. We've also been told this is the last night of the Monster Factory, so I'm very curious what the reward will be for the winner of this match. We'll have to find out.
Well, the Italian Tank just blasted Sebastian and Brian Murphy into the corner, but I think unintentionally sandwiched Isaac Taylor.
A little bit of friendly fire.
And look at the power on display by Christian Rocco.
Brian Murphy trying to lift the Italian Tank. Let's see, can he do it? Can he do it? Oh, not yet.
I think the only superhuman feat of strength we were going to see tonight was Travis Jacobs hoisting up the 300-pound Bobby Buffet and throwing him over the top rope. And now you have a clash of two legends here, Jesus Rodriguez and Steve Macklin. And we are on to another big return here. It can't be a goodbye to the Monster Factory without Jafar.
The conscience of the Monster Factory, the man they call Jafar.
Former middleweight medallion holder.
I've seen this film before and I loved it the first time. Welcome to the return of Jafar.
Oh wow. You know what? If you're not the Monster Factory champion, you're fair game for this battle royal and maybe is out for redemption, chain in hand.
No one has suffered more punishment tonight than the notorious Mimi, but no fear. And we are seeing a reunion of the Vision. Mimi, Jafar.
I think you mean the Division.
Perhaps I do.
Former faction of Mimi, Jafar, and one of their faction mates in the ring right now, Travis Jacobs.
What an unlikely reunion this is if we do see the Division come together.
Oh, Angel's Wings. I think it would be even more incredible if we saw Benjamin King make a surprise return to coach his former faction through.
Showtime Colin Roach is out. Hugs here. The Division is back. And immediately, Notorious Mimi has to be a favorite in this match as well.
Oh, a brain chop by Brian Murphy as Mimi tried to hit him with a chain.
There's no love lost between Brian Murphy.
Oh, are we going to go on prettier? Yes!
Make you feel so damn unpretty too.
I think Mimi rolling under the ropes, needing a little TLC herself as Brian Murphy with a headbutt to the Italian Tank.
Once again, and look at him! Brian Murphy got the Italian Tank on his shoulders!
And now, it's a night full of returns because Sosa is back.
The Aztec prize fighter returns to the Monster Factory, and this ring is full.
And now here comes the pride of the 215. It is Gabby Ortiz, or maybe not. She's turning around. No, she's getting a running start. Coming down to the ring, and you gotta wonder, there was a historic rivalry between Gabby Ortiz and the notorious Mimi, who's also in the ring. Is that who she's coming for? Looking to pick her spot. No, she goes for Steve Macklin.
Pick the biggest dog in the yard and slap him across the face. Gabby Ortiz was successful earlier, won her match against Becca Wiley, carrying all that momentum here into Turkey Slam 2025.
Gabby Ortiz is a girl from Philadelphia, and the underdog is a hungry dog, as she said.
It is chaotic. It is a mass of men and women all looking to win the final match in Monster Factory history. This is the last main event of the final Monster Factory event. The final match on the card. Someone is going to hold that honor.
And Jafar trying to get rid of Sebastian Valentino, trying to kick him off. And I think Posse's got a little bit more backup on the way. And there goes Royal Money Shades of Gabby. A huge feather in the cap of Gabby Ortiz. She just threw out the baddest dude in the match.
Pretty sure she has also got rid of Milton Morrow. Thought it was going to be Milton Morrow providing a real numbers advantage for Pete's Posse, and instead Morrow in and out.
Oh, you know what time it is now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tim Dynamite!
Representing the mean streets of Royersford, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that was a mean insecurity.
Reigniting the rivalry with Christian Rocco. Those two battled to become the first TRL champion.
Well, now he becomes the man to throw Christian Rocco out of the Turkey Slam Rumble. Tim Dynamite, whether he wins tonight or not, gets his vengeance.
Yeah, getting a matter of revenge. And we've seen Tim Dynamite and Travis Jacobs go at it as well at TRL, picking up where they left off. Still right now, the Italian Tank and Isaac Taylor together. They are a clear unit. We've seen Jafar. Oh,
there goes Isaac Taylor, courtesy of Gabby Ortiz. Gabby is racking up some wins.
Clearly, Gabby thinks only she should wear pink, and she's getting rid of
and now here it is. Oh, look out. Mimi was trying to throw Gabby out. Gabby almost tosses Mimi. An age-old rivalry here at the Monster Factory.
But now, having eliminated both other members of
look out!
Posse.
This is Dr. Carl Martin! Dr. Carl Martin to the ring! A longtime mentor of then Gabriella, to Carl Martin with a splash to Pete's Posse. Where did Carl Martin come from?
And Gabby Ortiz looking to complete the sweep and eliminate all the members of Pete's Posse.
And she does it! Gabby Ortiz, as Carl Martin chases off the rest of the posse.
Only Gabby Ortiz gets to wear pink going forward. I'm pretty sure that's the unofficial verdict.
And here comes Saul. We're not in Paulsboro anymore, so it can't be Salisbury. Is it now Saulsadelphia?
I don't know. He's maybe going to look to host an episode of the Saul Show here mid-ring. A lot of people for him to potentially interview. The only man who ever received a scholarship to the Monster Factory.
Jason, legends are entering the 2025 Turkey Slam Rumble. It is tough. Tim Hughes,
the very first Supersonic champion in the title's history. Former Ring of Honor star taking and renewing a rivalry. Both these men.
The last time we saw Tough Tim Hughes was with Tough Guy Inc.
Well, I was about to say, also, Cheeseburger used to be teamed with Brutal Bob Evans and Brutal Burgers. Tough Guy Inc. Now, two of Brutal Bob's proteges teaming together, whether Burger likes it or not.
The last time we saw Tough Tim Hughes was in 2024 in a candy corn match against the Broad Street Bullies. And he's back here tonight. And for all the good that Cheeseburger did him, he gets a backbreaker, sidewalk slam. And now, and he got rid of Cheeseburger. What kind of tag team partner are you?
The end of the world famous CB. Steve Macklin and Tim Hughes stand tall, two of the luminaries of Monster Factory Pals, and now Macklin immediately just putting the boots to Hughes' head. Good thing he is very tough.
So much for the alliance between the legends. Mimi right across the face of Steve Macklin, and you see the sweat flying off of Macklin as Mimi slaps him across the face.
And Phil Winslow has been eliminated by Travis Jacobs, continuing to add to his overall elimination total. But there's only one thing on the mind of Travis Jacobs tonight, to do what he's never been able to do and win the Turkey Slam. And now, the current reigning TRL champion, Division I, the athlete, Ezra Coleman. And immediately peppering Tim Dynamite with punches and kicks.
And who could be next? Tough Tim Hughes in danger on the ring apron, pulling Sebastian Valentino out on the apron with him. And a day late, $1 short. Oh, the Notorious Mimi got thrown out. A day late, $1 short. Oliver on the way to the ring. Your partner is long gone.
The Bad in Plaid, the fire you can't put out, Oliver.
Well, Oliver has Gabby Ortiz on the apron, and Gabby Ortiz is out.
Crowd does not like that one bit. And Travis Jacobs eliminating, yes, Souza is gone.
The field's starting to thin here. There goes Saul. Whoa, Saul held
on.
And Macklin made sure he didn't.
We got Jafar. We've got Jesus Rodriguez. Tim Dynamite, Ezra Coleman, Steve Macklin, but things are starting to thin out as we head to the final 4 entrants in the Turkey Slam. Isn't it crazy? We're already going to be at number 37, Skylar.
And there goes, well, Jafar almost.
Former friends.
Oh, and a chop, and there goes.
And two, Travis.
Let me correct myself from earlier. Here comes Mr. Friday Night, Mr. TRL, Mark Raspa Jr.
Fortunately, Raspa Jr. is going to have to fight alone. It looks like Sebastian Valentino has already been eliminated from this match.
Well, you want to talk about unfortunate drawings? Papa Juice is out. Unfortunately, his son is long gone.
But what a great draw for Papa Juice. Only 2 people have better numbers. The former Supersonic champion, the former 2-time tag team champion, and he's looking to put away a WWE legend, Skylar.
And I think he's going to, oh, he succeeds. There goes Jesus Rodriguez.
What an elimination for Papa Juice. Immediately taking it to Oliver.
Travis Jacobs fighting with Macklin, now turning his attention to Tim Hughes. Travis Jacobs, still the current Iron Man in the ring, been in there the longest.
Travis Jacobs entering all the way back at number 12. We are double digits since then. Ezra Coleman and Jesus Rodriguez having a temper tantrum right in front of us.
Jesus Rodriguez saying they were cheating. I think we had a hair pull, Jason, was the accusation.
Macklin on the outside in a lot of danger, and everyone is targeting Steve Macklin, understandably. It is a group pile-on the TNA International Champion.
They're trying to get the biggest threat in the match out. Macklin on spaghetti legs on the apron. And here comes Tough Tim Hughes, and he takes out Macklin.
Legend takes out legend. And the TNA International Champion, who was victorious earlier tonight against David Goldie, will not get the honors here in the Turkey Slam.
Macklin in disbelief, and this is it, Jason. This is the final 2 competitors in the Turkey Slam, the last Turkey Slam ever. Fittingly, another Monster Factory legend, Anthony Bennett, who is number 40.
And the man who won the very first Turkey Slam ever. Can he bookend first Turkey Slam win,
What is
last
this music?
Turkey Slam win?
Is Goldie in this match? Is that Goldie? That's not Goldie's gear, that's Wet Brett Waters! Wet Brett Waters! He's been gone for
over a year since we have seen Wet Brett Waters. He was a member of the Golden Era. He is a former Monster Factory champion, and he has returned here on the final night in the company's history to win the Turkey Slam.
How poetic would it be?
And that is all she wrote, everyone. That is all 40 competitors.
Tim Dynamite is angry. He's been thrown out.
We've got Raspa Jr., Ezra Coleman, Travis Jacobs in one corner. Brian Murphy still in, and of course Brett Waters. The big return here tonight.
Unbelievable.
No new entries to come. Now it is a war of attrition. Who can last longest? Who can stay with the best base? And who can use gravity as their friend?
We are down to the final 8. As Brett Waters countering Mark Raspa Jr.
Raspa Jr. being launched over the head
Shoulder breaker
of Brett Waters. And clearly Brett is looking to target Mark Raspa Jr. Ezra Coleman and Anthony Bennett have matched up. And Papa Juice is one of only 2 or 3 men left standing.
And look out, Mark Raspa Jr. goes flying, and we are down to 7.
Brett Waters and Anthony Bennett, the 2 freshest men in the match, making them very strong targets of attack. Travis Jacobs has been in here since all the way back to, I believe, number 12. It's been a dominant performance, but ultimately, Skylar, how long can Travis stay in this?
I've known Travis a long time. That guy is made from the same material of that chain that he brings to the ring. That guy is made of steel. There is no breaking him. Even though as tough Tim Hughes tries, I think Travis telling you, give me a chop or I'm going to show you how it's done.
The question is, will Travis live up to an old name of his, an old moniker?
And there goes.
Truly inevitable.
We just had an elimination. Brett Waters trying to get rid of Anthony Bennett now. That was Ezra Coleman that just got tossed. We are down to our final 6.
The current TRL champion no longer in this match. I believe we were actually down to the final 7 because world famous Brian Murphy still there on the ground.
It was so hard to see with the mass of competitors. Up goes Tim Hughes for an atomic drop.
Everything's legal in this match. Both versions of the atomic drop, inverted and
there
normal.
goes tough Tim Hughes. Now we are down to the final 6.
Travis Jacobs, Anthony Bennett, Brett Waters, Papa Juice, Brian Murphy. And of course, Oliver, bad in plaid in the corner, getting a brief respite.
But Papa Juice is thinking monkey flip. Jacob said no. Chop right across the chest.
Travis Jacobs with a shotgun-like blast into Papa Juice. Travis Jacobs like a war machine picking targets. And Anthony Bennett's like, no, not me. Go after Oliver.
Oliver said no either. Oh, and you want to talk about some of the most feared hands here at the Monster Factory. Travis Jacobs is right up there with Royal Money.
Anthony Bennett's very good at negotiating. He has really done a very good job of... And now the crowd's voting.
The people want to see Bennett get chopped.
It does seem like Bennett was unfortunately the winner.
Oh, and I think Bennett was trying to eliminate himself before he got chopped, and
I think he was just searching for higher ground.
And you heard that one all the way back in New Jersey.
And Anthony Bennett,
he hightailed. What did he hightail? I thought he eliminated himself.
No, he just needed a moment. Had to take a second. In the silence, Papa Juice cracks Brian Murphy across the skull.
Oh, Brett Waters. DDT to counter the chop.
Only Brett Waters avoids that overhand chop.
Papa Juice now going after Anthony Bennett, two longtime veterans of the Monster Factory. And the last two of the old guard really left.
Beautiful kick there by Anthony Bennett, who's in danger.
Papa Juice, oh, caught that spinning roundhouse, and we are down to 5. Papa Juice, Oliver, Wet Brett Waters, Brian Murphy, and Travis Jacobs.
Brian Murphy has been in here since 16, halfway through the field. So while Travis Jacobs is the longest tenured man in this match, it's not by much. Murphy has said that he wants to be not only from the world famous Monster Factory, but the winner of the Turkey Slam, and he is a target now.
And he clashes the heads of Papa Juice and Wet Brett Waters together.
Meeting of the minds.
Oh, I think we need a little reminder of who this guy is.
If only for one more night.
Murphy on fire, corner to corner.
Murphy's Law. If Brian Murphy can hit you with this keister, he will.
Discus clothesline by Oliver. Whoa, Papa Juice. Oh! Beautiful.
Sidewinder kick to Oliver, and we are down to 4. Oliver has been eliminated, and Travis Jacobs immediately looking to take advantage.
Those deadly kicks on display of Papa Juice. Great advertisement for the Red Dragon Dojo, and a roll-up in the Rumble, and Brad Waters counts it for 3.
It's a moral victory. It's not an actual victory, but it's certainly a moral victory.
And a pump handle suplex. Brett Waters raising the hand of Brian Murphy. Will that be the only time he gets his hand raised tonight? But Brett Waters is trying to eliminate him.
You can never trust Wet Brett.
Oh, Papa Juice saw it coming. Brian Murphy got rid of him anyway. What a huge elimination. Final 3. Travis Jacobs, Brian Murphy, Wet Brett Waters. What is going on here?
The underdog story of Brian Murphy may come true. Who would have thought Brian Murphy would make it from number 16 all the way here to the final 3?
Airplane spin one more time at the world famous Monster Factory, and you can see the fatigue on Brian Murphy.
It's a very successful strategy. If you are dizzy, you can't defend against being thrown over that top rope.
Can he get Travis up? He does.
He got the Italian tank up, Skyler. He could definitely get Travis Jacobs.
He was a lot fresher whenever he got the Italian tank up. And now he's using Travis as a weapon.
Brian Murphy is on fire. Are we going to see Brian Murphy Turkey Slam 2025 winner?
Oh, he's trying to get rid of Travis Jacobs.
What a dragon this would be to slay.
Oh, and a hip attack.
But Travis Jacobs stays on the apron.
Travis Jacobs 6'5", not a lot of clearance between the floor and his feet. And now, oh, Murphy got distracted. They're on the apron.
Both Murphy and Jacobs are in danger. If Brett Waters can hit them both, he might take out both members of the field at the same time.
These 3 men all would love to be the winner of the last ever Turkey Slam Rumble. Brett Waters going for it. He gets rid of Brian Murphy. Travis Jacobs moves just in time. I think Brett Waters thinks he won.
Whether intentional or not, Travis Jacobs seating on that apron saved the man, and now It's Brett Waters, the big return against the man who's always been a bridesmaid, never a bride here in the Turkey Slam.
Oh, and Brett Waters with a huge powerbomb counter.
How do you powerbomb someone that big and someone that powerful? It's pure technique.
Didn't just powerbomb Travis, he powerbombed a Claymore. Travis with a Claymore almost knocked his head off.
But both men are down, and Travis has exhaustion weighing him, pulling him. He's been in here since number 12, Skylar. He has been the runner-up 5 times. It's going to happen 6 times he could be the runner-up.
Or he could do the inevitable and pull off the victory here tonight. Last ever. It's either going to be Brett Waters or Travis Jacobs.
It's the only thing here on the final eve of the Monster Factory that Travis Jacobs has yet to accomplish. He has never won the Turkey Slam Rumble. It's the last opportunity. Will he get the chance to finish his journey? The crowd understands the import of the moment. The Monster Factory has meant so much to so many, especially everybody here at the 2300 Arena. Travis Jacobs calling his shot. Is this the night for Unchained Fury?
What? Duck the chop. Brett Waters caught the arm.
Or is Brett Waters about to pour water on the dreams of Travis Jacobs?
Jacobs with a reversal. Brett Waters' neck, which he's had trouble with in the past. Injuries in the past right down on the knee of Travis Jacobs.
And we don't know, is this a one-time only appearance from Brett Waters or a permanent return to the ring? And does it come down to whether or not he wins this match? Is this for the fate of Brett Waters' career?
Oh, he's hanging in the balance right now.
Waters holds on. But now, for the first time, Brett Waters is in danger, gets back into safety.
Oh, Waters with a body block in the corner, lifting the big man up on his shoulders. Flapjack.
Waters was number 40. He's the freshest man in the match, going up against Travis Jacobs, who's been in here since number 12.
Brett Waters with a boot.
How devastating would it be to the psyche of Travis Jacobs to fall short for the 6th time? He holds the record for most eliminations, most time ever spent in a Turkey Slam Rumble, but if he can't get the job done tonight, he'll never get it done.
Brett Waters seems hell-bent on ensuring that he never does.
That's the difference about tonight, Skylar. Every other Turkey Slam, you can always say, okay, next year, next year, next year. There is potentially no next year. This is the end of the road.
Brett Waters laying in the elbows in the corner, trying to power Travis Jacobs over that top rope.
Travis Jacobs holding on for dear life, but at a certain point, fatigue is real. Travis Jacobs has been in this match close to 30 minutes.
Brett Waters definitely with the advantage. A chop to the back. The ones in the chest suck enough.
Slicing the nape of the neck of Brett Waters, rendering him like jelly.
Jawbreaker. Rocks Jacobs, sends him to the corner.
You can just see both men slowing down. Both men struggling.
Waters tried to go up and over. Jacobs caught him.
Is he going to throw him like a lawn dart?
Waters with the sleeper.
Travis doesn't need any assistance in terms of his fatigue. He has already been, no pun intended, wrestling with it. But of course, here's the problem. If Travis becomes dead weight, how do you throw him over the top rope?
That is a big guy. A lot for Brett Waters to lift up and over, and I think that is the situation we are in right now.
Well, it's a problem for future Brett, who's rapidly becoming present Brett. But, we'll take it one problem at a time.
Trying to, again, muscle him over that top rope. Jacobs, dead weight at this point.
Give me a lever and I can move the world. Give me a turnbuckle and I'll move Travis Jacobs.
Trying to grind the hands, the fingers off of the ropes. Jacobs finding life.
That long leg extension of Travis Jacobs really coming into play, but we can see he is struggling to get up. There's a lot of pain in Travis Jacobs right now.
Knee right to the face of Jacobs.
That may have been a punctuation mark on the end of the hopes and dreams of Travis Jacobs as it relates to the Turkey Slam 2025. Wet Brett Waters did not return after a year away to come in runner-up.
Got him up, walking him step by step to the ropes.
And this crowd was split earlier, but it seems like Travis is starting to gain some favor. But of course, Brett Waters, a former Monster Factory champion.
Whoa, Brett Waters has the leg, dragging him, looking lock in, American water torture in the middle of the ring.
It's not going to get a submission, but if he can completely compromise Travis Jacobs, perhaps that's what needs to happen so that Travis Jacobs can't wriggle free. There's a very clear strategy by Brett Waters. Break down the body of Travis Jacobs and then throw him over that turnbuckle.
And now, Jacobs with a counter. We're looking for it. Is it going to be? Travesty right on his head. He's set up. Waters in a bad part of town.
Travis Jacobs!
He did it! Finally! Last ever! Monster Factory!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2025 Turkey Slam Rumble, Travis Jacobs!
Travis Jacobs has done it! No longer the bridesmaid. Tonight, he is the man. He is the winner of the last ever Monster Factory Turkey Slam Rumble.
No one will know just how much Travis Jacobs has put on his back to get to this moment, and few deserve it more. 5 times the runner-up. The man who has eliminated more people in this match than anyone else. The man who spent more time in this match than anyone else. And the man who now holds the distinction of being the winner of the final match to ever be branded under the storied name of the Monster Factory.
What an honor it has been. Jason, it's been a pleasure. Monster Factory, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Danny Cage.
What an incredible evening. It is bittersweet. And here,
Ladies and gentlemen, as I stated earlier, please be seated. Don't go anywhere because we have a special announcement. And if I could please welcome one of the coaches of the world famous Monster Factory and 2300 Arena Hardcore Hall of Famer, Missy Simpson.
for Skylar Ash, I'm Jason Heat. We bid you good night.
Was never about one man. It was never about one building. It was about each and every one of these guys and ladies in this ring and around it, and those that can't be here today. This show officially ends the company known as the Monster Factory. On behalf of myself and the Monster Factory owner, Danny Cage, I want to thank each and every member of talent around this ring for your hard work, your perseverance, and your dedication. With the exception of 7 individuals around this ring, everyone is a Monster Factory student. Those 7 we're adopting you. 7 maybe that guy. But I promise you, we are very proud to say we had the honor to coach you guys. On behalf of myself, Danny, and all of this talent, we want to thank you guys, the fans, for showing up tonight. I will tell you, watching the ticket sales was one of the most nerve-wracking things I've done for a prolonged period of time. And we appreciate you guys, friends, family, or wrestling fans, for coming out here to support this very last show. So what you guys are telling me is you're not done supporting these kids, right? Is that what I hear you saying? So maybe tonight, we're just ending a name. But maybe the lineage carries on. Maybe a motto, Lineage Pro Wrestling is born. And maybe tomorrow we answer the Goldie. Every one of these men and women. But the way that you have stepped up. At 23 years old, you strapped all of us to your back and got us here today. And every one of these guys, when I say we are so proud of you. And we look forward to what's to come. Thank you, Coffin! Thank you, Coffin! Thank you, Coffin! Thank you, Coffin! So we are not done. But it is time to put the Monster Factory to bed. Everybody, please welcome out the last ever Monster Factory TRL champion, Ezra Coleman. Let's go, it's not about you anymore, let's go. I knew I should have walked through this part earlier. Please welcome the last ever Monster Factory Thunder and Lightning champion, Marvelous. Let's hear it for Monster Factory Supersonic champion, Gulak. Let's bring out the last ever Monster Factory Tag Team Champions. Christian Darling, Steve Brooks, and Steve very much complicated. At least something they have finally kissed each other. Just saying. And the last ever Monster Factory champion, Chris Desmond. Go ahead, Goldie, lay that one down too. Now to finish this off, everybody please welcome back to the ring Monster Factory alumni and TNA International Champion, Steve Macklin. I'm gonna need you two to work together now, thanks. Here's our Viking funeral. I sure will. I thought this was gonna be the easy part of this. So we ask that you all rise to your feet, because if anybody is gonna count the Monster Factory out, it's gonna be us. We're now going to give the Monster Factory a 10-bell salute. When you're ready, Miles. Clearly,